What's good? I'm Skip.
DJ.
And this is the Cipher.
Hip hop, man. I said hip hop. That community is just crazy. That the things that we were able to see and experience because of this thing called rap and hip hop.
I mean, if you take those lyrics and you pull them away from the music and you put them up on the wall, and someone had to look at them, they would say, "This is genius."
Turn this down a little bit. Yo. Mic check. Turn me down. I don't need these just yet. What's good people? Put some ones in the chat if you can hear me. Everything good? Let me know something. Head for a good time, not a long time. What's good, people? Hit that like button as you coming in. Do me that solid. Okay. Okay. Real quick, do some housekeeping and shout outs as we get started. Shout out to Rafi. Well, first of all, shout out to the members, shout out to the mods, shout out to the people that are subscribed on Patreon and our member side over here, and to the people just passing through and the people who pull up to every single live stream. What's good to all of you? I am Skip. Peace to my brother DJ. This is another deciphered stream, podcast, episode, whatever you want to call it. We in here. Shout out to Raphael 1819. Shout out to D2B2. Shout out to Bakugan, Sleek Real. My name is No Name. Positive Vibes. Tyler Fleming. Yolanda Travis, D Willis, Done Deal, Simply J, Maynard Spaceship, O Jazzy, V Ward. I think I said simply yes. Tiffany Shante, Make 'em Pay. Liz That Bit. No Enough 3. Michael. No, Mike also Mike. Okay. What's good, bro? Yeah, man. Shout out to all of the numbers. It's a lot going on, man. L, okay, got you. Shout out to my dog Koala in the building. Shout out my dog Koala, man. It's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. Well, not really. It's a lot to talk about. There's not a lot going on. It's a lot to talk about. Give me a second. Shout out to Hip Hop Clips. Like I said, as you coming in, be sure to hit that like button. We have a goal established, as we always do. Help support this thing to keep going. If you can, contribute to the goal. If not, make sure you hit that like button and share this. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and do that on Twitter. Let me go and share this on Twitter. Give me a second while I do this. Oh, and real quick, if you've not got a chance to watch it, yesterday I released the Heart Part series reaction 1 through 6. So if you have not seen that and you want to check that out, go ahead and do that after the stream. Make sure you hit that hype button on that too, so we can push that out to as many people as possible. Okay. Shout out to DJ. Okay, so we fixed the thing with the auto star, so I can separate the super chats again. Shout out to the Dun Deal with the $2. Appreciate it. Shout out to Just Be Yapping, just became just became a member. That avatar is nuts. That avatar is sympathy. I feel like I'm attacking. Okay. Okay. Let me take this down. Can y'all can still hear me? I see somebody saying mic check. Can y'all still hear me? I just want to make sure before I get to going. I want to make sure. Okay, cool. All right. So as you guys know, or if you don't know, the game just recently dropped a snippet that's supposed to be featuring him and Drake. They have not really said what the name of the song is, but I'm assuming it's No Breaks. And on it, he is making a couple of declarations to, just declaring his allegiance to Drake. Which I don't necessarily. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. I say that I'm not surprised by it, but what I am more kind of surprised by is kind of going to lead into the topic that I was going to do originally before all of this happened, which was more so about media and narrative warfare and things of that nature. So I want to play a clip real quick. I know y'all don't love academics, but I feel like this is important as it relates to what's going on behind the scenes and why it has become so important for people to be tapping in and being selective. Like these strategic partnerships. That's what I'm trying to say. That they're participating in strategic alliances to find ways to elevate themselves as far as having access to broader audiences. And this is a conversation between Jerry and Wack 100. I'm gonna play this real quick.
on a very special record. It was a game and Drake.
You talking about the
Hold on, I'm started over.
Can
y'all hear? Can y'all hear?
On a very special record. It was a game and Drake.
You talking about the one that's going on this album now? Or
Yeah. Yeah, I just ran that shit.
Why is he so excited? Why is he so excited? That's the first thing I'm noticing, like with all of this. Why is he so excited? Why is Akademiks so excited? What is he hoping will come of this? What is the ultimate end goal for Akademiks other than more opportunities to be at the focal point or something? There is something much more insidious behind this. He's trying to, well, we already know he has a history of attempting to craft narrative. But why is bro smiling so fucking hard?
You talking about the one that's going on this album now? Or
Oh, one more thing before I continue. Right after dropping this leak or giving it to Akademiks, he announced that documentary part 3 is dropping tonight. Oh man. He announced that documentary 3 is dropping tonight. I haven't seen X smile like this, I don't think ever. He looked just like Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, I just ran that shit. I talked to Chuck. Hey, Well, everybody, they're talking about it online already. I wanted to get some clarification from you because he's saying a lot on the record.
I think it's a statement. I think it's a statement overall that he led with that as a single. It's the same statement he made when he was at the verses, right? And you know, I think he, you know, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be real. You know, a few of us understand it because some of us follow the leader and some of us are the leader. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the nigga's a wolf. He gonna do what he do, and whatever come with it, come with it. You know, and I can respect it because I'm the same way.
Wack, one question. If there is a class trip to Compton, could I come and be in the video, please? Okay. I want to. Is it possible?
Love y'all. Good night. I'll put her down for you. Hurt yourself, baby. See you in the morning, buddy. Oh, hold on. Okay, my bad. We back, but I'm gonna run this back a second because what Wack 100 says is extremely important. I want y'all to hear what he says as this continues.
Today, I'm gonna be real. You know, a few of us understand it because some of us follow the leader and some of us are the leader. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the nigga's a wolf. He gonna do what he do, and whatever come with it, come with it. You know, and I can respect it because I'm the same way.
Wack, one question. If there is a class trip to Compton, could I come and be in the video, please? I want to. Is it possible that this could be shot in Compton? I don't know. Can I be in the video?
You know what? Hey, listen.
I'm getting some red dickies. That's what the chat said.
Hey, it's so far out there in the water. The only place he could shoot it in.
Why does he want to be a part of the video? Why does he want to be a part of the video? That's what I'm saying. This is more than Akademiks just wanting to start drama. Akademiks wants to partake in sampling these experiences. This is obviously, and he's continuously shown and stated that all of this is foreign to him. Akademiks is no more than like somebody who works for Vice. He's somebody who works for Vice. That's what he is. That does not make him any closer to what he's observing. He wants to participate. Just like shout out to G, man. He said, you know, bro is a spectator. He's a spectator. He wanna be a part of this. He wanna be in the video so he can feel like he's a part of something actually real. So that shows a level of validation of what he does in his room. A part of what I want to address today is about validation. It's about validation. It's about what it would take to validate certain things in the adverse or the inverse invalidation of other things to make it more of an easier road to validate a particular thing. There are no other circumstances where the game could post up in Compton than creating a situation that attempts to destabilize Compton itself, all just to be able to say you stood on those, like in that ground, or on that ground. It speaks to an insane level of envy, number one, voyeurism, number two, and some of the most like twisted combination of self-hatred and FOMO that I've seen this side of Candace Owens. It's really insane when you think about it. Hit that like button for me. But let's continue.
Is in Compton.
Oh shit.
Because if he shoots, you know, hey, it's so far out there in the water, the only place he could shoot it is in Compton.
Oh shit.
Because if he shoot it anywhere outside of that, you got to remember when Drake came to Compton to shoot 100 back in 2015, it was just nigga bringing Drake to Compton. That's all it was. It wasn't like no malice. Now,
false as fuck. That's a bald-faced lie. We know that. Ack ain't ignorant though. I gave him benefit of the doubt for being ignorant. Akademiks is not. He's not. Akademiks is not ignorant. He may not know to the letter, but he understands what he's doing. I stopped giving him grace sometime this week. I was watching something, and he was talking about somewhere between his conversations with 6ix9ine regarding Dirk and regarding his situation with the Warren Chirac, and him talking about how it was used to build his name up and all of these things. There is a level of opportunism and dishonesty in Akademiks' tone and the things that he says, if you actually are listening to him, not to be entertained, but to actually get what he's saying. And with that, I have come to the conclusion that, of course, he doesn't know street politics, but he's not ignorant. He's not ignorant. He's not ignorant at all. He understands that he has goals and he is working towards achieving them. And if he doesn't have to know the street politics, because as long as some shit burns down, that's where his objective stops. The degree to which it burns down, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And that's what makes him dangerous, because now allegiances are being formed that, like this Wack 100 thing, and I'm gonna let it play. Y'all just listen.
It's kind of like it's a different thing, because it's like what niggas is saying what they was mad about. You know what I'm saying, and shit like that. So
it don't look like he's sparing nobody feelings though. It seems, but it don't seem like he kicking off beef either. It seems like if niggas gonna be mad, niggas gonna be mad, but he's just doing him.
He always been like that though. When has he not been like that? Nigga, if you mad about it, you're gonna be mad about it. I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, you called me, you said, hey, Wack, me and 6ix9ine talking. We seeing the chatter on the internet, and if we start dropping these clips, bro, they gonna murder you. What'd I tell you?
You said put that shit out.
Put that shit out. I don't give a fuck about these niggas, man. I don't give a fuck about. See, it's one thing. We all human beings. You know what the cemetery is full of?
Who?
A bunch of tough niggas.
Oh shit.
A bunch of gangster niggas. Now, you know what the world has a limited number of?
What?
Intelligent niggas.
Yeah, that's true.
Niggas that know, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm glad it's going back to life being normalized. I'm glad it's going back to the square-ass streamer got the voice and not the nigga with the fake story, because he could do more push-ups, because he didn't learn how to read and write in school, so he ended up in jail or in a cell all day where he just got strong all day with a dude that's on the streets who studied and applied himself he's frowned upon as.
And this is part of where you would feel like Akademiks is ignorant because he just called Akademiks a square and Akademiks didn't react. Akademiks like, right. But Akademiks' sole objective is power. Power, reach, and real estate, digital real estate. So Akademiks is just like, okay, bet. As many tentacles as I can have, or I can attach myself to other things that have importance as it relates to, quote unquote, the culture. So be it. So now, this is Wack 100 validating Akademiks, and also in a roundabout way, saying that now we get to lean on these square niggas and get them to push our narratives. I'm leaning, we gonna lean on y'all and make y'all push us. We moving around, we off them street niggas. We ain't trying to do no street shit. We going to the niggas who got the voices inside their rooms, and we're going to make them coalesce with us. So now we have access to their influence. Damn, I ain't mean to do that.
I don't give a fuck about. See, here's one thing: we all human. He didn't learn how to read and write in school, so he ended up in jail or in a cell all day, where he just got strong all day. Where the dude that's on the streets who studied and applied himself, he's frowned upon as a zero, and this other nigga that ain't been to the dentist in his life and can't read or write is given the clout. It's going back to where it's supposed to be, and fuck him.
Hey, I will say, shout out to Game. I see he's coming with that shit. He gave me a preview of some other songs. Them shits is sounding good, Wack. I'm not gonna lie.
Yo, Wack, let me ask you a question.
Game's in his. I'm glad he ain't do too much talking on social media. He came with.
Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
Where you think his instruction came from? You want me to send you the text blast?
Oh shit. Okay. I thought you first was saying, nah, just avoid everything. I thought you were kind of saying tuck your tail.
No, I ain't never gonna say that. That ain't what's gonna happen. He did what he was supposed to do when he allowed me and Top Dog to do what we did, right? Which did never say nothing. I told him, I said, look, bro, I've been out. He said, Wack, I get what you've been doing the last couple years. He said, at first I was a little confused. I said, yeah, the table said, act, black, no jumper. I said, through Act and Drake, you're going to get Aiden, right? This ain't about a radio thing. This about who the people was listening to thing. I said, it's already, the table was set. Now you got to ask yourself, who's a nigga that sacrificed his soul?
Hold on, my bad. I missed it. I zoned out for a second.
Ain't nothing. I told him, I said, look, bro, I've been out. He said, Wack, I get what you've been doing the last couple years. He said, at first I was a little confused. I said, yeah, the table said, Act, black, no jumper. I said, through Act and Drake, you're going to get Aiden, right? This ain't about a radio thing. This about who the people was listening to.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? This is what I mean about the alliance building. This is it. Wack 100 just spoke to it. He's been sitting down, shaking hands with these people to get access to their digital network. Because now they become basically propagandists for the game and whatever the game is doing. Because he has sat down, shaken hands, and shook hands with these individuals, giving them content, offered himself to these individuals. So now when you look back and you see all of these appearances of Wack 100 on No Jumper, Act 100, doing shit on stream with Wack and all of these different things. This is what it's for. This is the trade-off. This is the trade-off. This is the trade-off. So now they are going to basically perform clipping duties for the game and run positive spun media and create content for the game. That's what this is for. That's what this is for. He fronted these niggas work for a minute, and now it's time to repay. So now whatever narratives need to be created, spun, and woven to bring more attention to whatever the game is doing, Adam 22, Vlad, all of these people, and then he said it's gonna spill off into Aiden. This was them trying to catch the digital streets. When he said it's not about the radio, it's about what people are listening to. One part of what people are listening to is these streamers. So if Wack's connection with them can lead to them reshaping the narrative around game, number one, and then general perception of him and his music to Wack 100 is worth all of this other shit. Because he just said, I don't care about being tough no more. I don't care about none of that. We're not trying to do none of this shit to die. I'm even standing on Drake in the game didn't do 100 to be malicious. So it's on some whole other bullshit now. It's on some whole other bullshit now. Now they going the streamer route. But this is the thing, Felicia. This is the thing. You say who is listening? It's not a great deal of people, but when you move over to this side, and I'm going to talk about a lot of this stuff later, you're giving, the game is now contributing to giving people a reason to hate Dot. And if you do not know, a big part of what has taken place over the last 2 years, particularly with the Drake camp and camps in the periphery, is consuming the person to support them in their journey to hate Dot. Niggas was consuming Drake music more than usual just for him to potentially beat Kendrick at something. It didn't have anything to do with the music. It had everything to do with beating Dot. So now there's going to be a narrative created from these platforms that is going to push the game's album that's going to drop tonight and the game for a continued period of time in conflict with Kendrick, because they know if they can spin it the right way, they can make Dot look scared. Number one, they can make the game, this is positive PR for him because it makes him look better. And if the music is halfway decent, that's enough for them to give it a shot. This is, excuse me, it is a step outside of just likability. This is narrative warfare. This is narrative warfare. This is a component of narrative warfare. The streamers are now front-facing PR agencies. Wack 100 did whatever he did to solicit their services, and now he is of the belief that they will begin to participate in positive PR campaigns for the game to lead to damn, but it just distracted me. To lead to positive engagement for the game going forward. It's not about, at this moment, okay. It's not necessarily about, they can't change what Kendrick did. They can't change what Kendrick did. It's not about that. They can use that as, they can get ammunition to shoot at him from that, but they can't actually change it. Because if that was the case, we would have got official articles and notifications of those streams actually being confirmed as being botted. So of course they can't change what happened. They can't change the Super Bowl. They can't change the success of GNX, all of the claiming these things and anything that happened before and is set to happen after. What they can do is attempt to muddy it as much as possible. That's the goal. And in turn, run positive media coverage for the people who have decided to be in opposition. A Kendrick fan in this context is a communist. A Kendrick fan in this context is a communist. The goal is to continue to attack. And anybody who joins that side will get positive coverage. It's just like when coons become part of any Republican / MAGA campaign, they get positive coverage for a time until they finally realize that they're not a part of MAGA's plans either. But yes, the ultimate goal of this is infrastructure. They are looking to find infrastructure for positive media coverage. And with that, hopefully it helps bolster this era of Game's career. Wack just said it. I'm not making it up. He just said it. Hit the like button real quick.
Hey, I said it's already, the table is set. Now you gotta ask yourself, who's a nigga that sacrificed his so-called reputation and went out there in the water to shake hands with these people that they say ain't gangster and ain't this and ain't relevant?
You broke the mold, Wack.
There it goes. So, it is what motherfuckers say what they want. I'm going to stay ahead of the trend. I'm going to keep the right friends, and I'm going to conduct very good business. We ain't.
Okay, so that's the end. Shout out to Paco Anola. Nasty work, but a sound strategy that has worked for others, even if short term. It got Trump elected. It got Trump elected. They are following an established blueprint. This is not something that's just being made up in the present time. This got Trump elected. And not just him, a lot of very aggressive political candidates destabilize or delegitimize the opposition in that as long as you make people not want to support the other side and you be the alternative, you don't have to show and prove on your side because you've created a level of disdain for your perceived opposition. This album is as good or as bad as it's gonna be. The goal now is to garner support through whatever mechanism possible. But that's the thing, though. It's not about changing the life of those in support. It's about changing the life in those who is being supported. It's never about it's never about the person clicking like and pressing the share button and spending the night with the volume on low, got songs and albums on repeat. It's never about them. He just said, we don't care about them. You think they care about the people who are actually supporting more than they care about the people who don't? No, those are numbers and avatars to them. The consumers do not exist in a space that dictates or garners respect. He clearly just said that. This is not meant to help the people. It is meant to get the people to galvanize around a concept and push a person into a place that they wouldn't be without the push. This is not about any collective uplifting. This is not a rising tide lifts all boats type of thing. It's not. A select few will profit from these types of things. That's why a lot of people start clipping. No authentic content creation. They just clip other people's content to show and demonstrate allegiance. That's why other people basically become facsimiles of the person that they support. This is why you see people pining for collaboration with certain people of higher rank, even when in previous times they showed that their mindset existed on another realm. I'm not done yet, Felicia. We gotta slow down. We're still cooking. It's a lot more to discuss. And I've discussed what the solution is a long time ago, multiple times. But now we're expanding so people can see exactly what's going on. Like I said not too long ago, we are at war, and not like a war where people are going to die and things like that. We are at war, and the battleground is the digital streets, and the actual object is narrative warfare. It is narrative warfare. The battleground is the internet. We are in real time watching lieutenants, admirals, captains, and foot soldiers alike make active moves on the battleground to create allegiances, alliances, campaigns, and battle strategies. Exactly. Psychological operations. Yes, this is all about weaponizing narratives to dictate collective thought. And the intent of it from their side is not anything remotely close to anything positive for the people engaging in the content. I'm going to take a quick break, check out these super chats, and I got like a bunch of different parts to this specific thing that I want to go through. And then, because I don't even want to play the snippet. Shout out to Jay Nolan. He did a video playing the snippet. I maybe do a reaction to it, but probably not. But yeah, if you want to watch the reaction, go shout out to Jay Nolan. After this, go tap in with his reaction to it, and him providing his perspective. But let me check these super chats real quick. Shout out to Stephen Mallory with the $5. What's good, everybody? The lame is showing us who he is again with the company he keeps. No denying it now. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's more business related than anything. But the point of that is that it's sad that you're going that you feel like you have to go that far, that nobody else can do anything for you of advantageous nature other than these people. But he has been trending in this direction for a long time. He has been a real life troll for 2 decades. So becoming an internet troll was probably the easiest transition since the butterfly tattoo. So I think he probably don't really care as long as this results in more viewership, more clicks, more streams, more album sales. If he can maybe go out and tour, that's the goal for him. Wack 100 clearly said, like, we don't like, bro, all of this shit that y'all talking about being street and being real and all of that, we don't care. We don't care. This is about us getting to the ears of the kids. And we know that these streamers have the ears and eyes and attention of the kids. And y'all are able to sell them gambling, dick pills, degenerate behavior, racism, homophobia, xenophobia. Y'all are able to sell them all of these things. So I know y'all can sell them the game. Y'all are selling them everything else. I know y'all can sell them the game. Shout out to D2B2, wrench holder and member with the $10. Documentary 3 dropping tonight off a horrendous versus performance and just plain looking like a goofy altogether. That bullshit album is gonna go triple cardboard. They, with this whole alliance, they're hoping it doesn't. They hoping. Perfect World dot pops out and validates this. Once again, validation. The whole thing is based on needing an exterior source to validate you. Like y'all remember a couple streams ago, shout out to D2B2 with this, but y'all remember a couple streams ago, oh, my fault, let me take it down. A couple streams ago, I was telling y'all that this shit is about delegitimizing the people that you view as competition. When I was telling y'all about the dude from Potty Mouth going crazy against Reed, and then the ultimate thing was him basically going up the Mortal Kombat ladder and destabilizing everything as it relates to Culture United. When you can't make it the way another person made it, you try to make it you try to build on the way that you've operated to get to a point where you can see up here on the other side, destabilize them, take their power, and move up the rung. In order for a degenerate, and I'm just saying this in general, but in order for a degenerate to stare in the eyes of a normal citizen and convince the world that the stand-up citizen is no better than the degenerate, they have to create a gray area with everything that the upstanding citizen does. And in that confusion, there's no way to tell the difference between the degenerate and the upstanding citizen. And this is why when Glasses was saying earlier, it's like, bro, there's no benefit in arguing with this nigga. There's no benefit. There's no benefit in arguing with someone like Akademiks. It's not going to be anything of a fruitful nature. They just going to be going back and forth. You are giving Akademiks a extra piece of cultural cachet he was not able to gain himself. In that validation of electing to have a war of words with a nigga who just wants to ramble. He don't want to come to the collective truth about nothing. He wants to take your real estate. That's it. He wants to take your real estate and use your points as a way to further garner, not even garner, to further galvanize his base. There's a video earlier this week where he was responding to Glasses. He was like, do y'all hear that, chat? He's saying that I'm not hip hop. And he's saying if I'm not hip hop, y'all not hip hop. You see? You see what I'm getting at? There is a level of reverse othering that Akademiks is trying to do. If we can turn all of the non-traditional hip-hop fans that consume Akademiks' content, because Akademiks has a huge platform that consists of some people who actually consider themselves hip-hop fans of not only the music but the culture, and who grew up in what Glasses Malone calls street urban culture. And there are a lot more that did not, that have made their way over to Akademiks and into hip hop by alternative means via the internet. And if he can sweep them into hip hop and legitimize what he's doing in his pursuits to let everything slide, when they come in, he's much more powerful than he would have been otherwise. And now, a lot of the things that would not have allowed them to coexist in any other circumstance no longer exist. They no longer exist. For example, 2015, back to back, Charged Up. There was no rule before back to back drop that you had to respond within 2 days. There was no rule of that. In 2001, The Takeover was released formally on an album called The Blueprint. 2001, 9/11, my 12th birthday. Nas dropped Stillmatic in December of the same year, 3 months apart. And I'm just going off of official releases. I know some of the OGs in the chat like, no, but we heard it before. But I'm going off of official releases as it was instituted on the album. So, the biggest rap battle of all time up until Kendrick v. Drake was Hove versus Nas, or Jay-Z versus Nas. The two most important tracks were officially released on albums 3 months apart. Drake, by way of his fandom and his ability to, for whatever reason, control narrative, was able to manipulate the way in which we consume hip-hop battles. And also, in that time, he was able to recontextualize what it means to have somebody writing with you on wax. And the thing is, you don't have to convince the whole of hip hop as it's presently constituted. You can just bring in people who don't care, and it dilutes the sample size. The ultimate sample grows. However, it is being diluted. The more unnaturalized hip hop consumers infiltrate the space. So then the further you go, you look up, oh, we got songs dropping and we can't tell if they AI or not in hip hop. Oh, we got reference tracks of artists actually performing and crafting these songs for said artists, and nobody is creating any fuss about it. We have artists being championed as the greatest artists of their era or some of the greatest artists of all time, and it has been confirmed that they do not write their music. When hip hop was more homogenous with actual people of the hip hop culture, that did not exist. So their goal is, if we can't convince you, we are going to attempt to wash you out. And if we cannot topple other institutions, the goal is to delegitimize the institution. So you can do whatever you want on that side, but I am going to do my damnedest to make sure what you do doesn't matter. That's where twerking with a dictionary comes from. That's where Harriet Tubman music comes from. That's where Beat Drake with Blackness comes from. It's all about delegitimizing something that you cannot deconstruct. So since they can't break what's going on, the goal is to delegitimize it. If they can take the luster off of it, if he can convince people that Rob Markman, regardless of how you may feel about him, storied, Hall of Fame level hip hop journalist, if he can convince a sizable enough people that Rob Markman does not matter or isn't significant in hip hop media or hip hop journalism, to be more specific, that is a huge win. If he can present himself, number one, as a journalist and tell you that other people that have been doing it for longer than Akademiks has been in front of a microphone, period, then that creates a level of improved infrastructure for Akademiks. That's why I was asking, what is Akademiks' reason for doing this? It's not just to fuck some shit up on the West. It's not just to get back at Dot. This is for Akademiks. This is for Akademiks. He said in a video, and this is so y'all don't have to keep listening to Akademiks talk through so many different clips. He said in a video, I am big enough to where I am y'all bosses, referring to the Rob Markmans of the world and all of the other people in hip hop journalism. Mark Lamont Hill, I don't know how he's considered a part of hip hop journalism. Everybody basically but Joe Budden. But that is predicated on a fight for legitimacy. So if he can in turn basically create, hold on. If he can create his own Injustice League, or his own Sinister Six, and get them validated, while in turn using the same methodology to invalidate the journalists, to uphold the other guys, this is a complete flip. So if I can get Justin Hunt, Rob Markman, to some people, somebody like Anthony Fantano, to some people, Charlemagne, he's not gonna fuck with Joe Budden, but all of those people that we know as Lauren LaRosa, all of the people that we know as established hip hop media personalities, reporters, journalists, the whole like, if he can get them out of the way to a point where to the mass society on the internet as it pertains to hip hop culture and hip hop media and hip hop music, if he can convince us that they don't exist or that they don't matter, and then insert new people in that power vacuum, that is the ultimate goal. We keep looking at Akademiks like he's not attempting to be Lex Luthor. He's not a street level criminal in the whatever superhero universe you want to imagine him to be in. Akademiks is attempting to be the warlord of the underworld. And once that has been cemented, which it pretty much has, he's looking to come and take over the natural world. This is about supremacy. This is about control of the collective conscious of the vast majority of hip hop. And this is about instituting a dictatorship, which goes back to when I said that Kendrick Lamar fans, which are really nothing to them but anti-Drake personnel. What is the equivalent to anti-Drake personnel for someone who lives and dies to push Drake? You are direct opposition of the highest form. And as we relate this to America, what has that been since, let's say, the 60s? Fucking communists. When I said we are experiencing one of the warmest Cold Wars, probably in hip hop in recent years, that is what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the midst of a war for the minds, ears, and pockets of consumers of hip hop and hip hop byproducts, such as streaming, podcasts, and all other forms of media. He is not the Hamburglar. Y'all gotta stop. I think the perfect, probably one of the more perfect villain comps is Spot from the Miles Morales Spider-Man universe. He is Spot. He was small and insignificant at one point, and as this continues, and he continues to find ways to garner more power, he becomes more of a credible threat. Why am I using communists? Okay. I got you. Hold tight. Okay. During the 1960s, the United States was deeply locked in the Cold War. Once again, pay attention. Locked into the Cold War against global communism, quote unquote, while the domestic communist movement itself faced severe marginalization, internal fractures, and aggressive government surveillance. Rather than becoming communist, the United States experienced intense social upheaval through the civil rights movement and New Left. That's what they want you to, in part, believe. as the Americas saw it, the infrastructure of what the Communist Party represents was direct opposition to the capitalistic system as it relates or as it exists in America in that time in the 60s. Communism as a political practice and like economic framework does not exist or cannot exist if the people who run America and have capitalistic exploits and dreams, they cannot coexist. So in that, you create an enemy in communism and label anyone who is doing anything that is in opposition to the capitalistic structure in America as it existed in the 60s, and all of the things that are attached to what people know and in some instances love about America, you are going to be labeled a communist. When I'm using communist, I'm using it as representation for a buzzword to create for a newly identified enemy. Just like now in the rise of Christian nationalism, which is nothing more than a actual covering for white supremacy, they are looking to destabilize anything that does not represent white supremacy by extension of all of these other things. The other day in Dearborn, Michigan, where they have a Muslim mayor, a bunch of people claiming to be representatives of the New Crusade were protesting basically Muslim existence in that city. And the only thing that they have to quote unquote stand on is representing the Muslim, the religion of Islam and the Muslim people as being in direct opposition to their God, and by extension, direct opposition to America. Because with the marriage of church and state that we are trying to stop from happening again, but they're getting closer and closer to making it a reality. With the rejoining of church and state, it puts the people in power and back in a position akin to ancient empire, right? Because now they have aligned themselves with something that a lot of people aren't willing to go against. And that on top of that, people are willing to die for. People are willing to die for. You dig me? So, as it relates to this, as it relates to this music media thing, if they can successfully convince mass groups, anyone against what they are pushing is now somehow anti-hip hop, you'd be surprised what 10 years of that'll look like. You'll be surprised what that'll look like. Because they're not going to abide by any bylaws. Let me see. What you talking about, Vi? How do you think this gets combated, Skip? Does Kendrick have to reveal more information or keep ignoring them? Okay. The thing about it, okay, I'm going to get to that. I have to continue to lay shit out because as I'm going through this, I might get to something that makes sense. Because I have a set of questions. Is it too late to stop act? That's one question. The second question, should we try? The third question, does and or should he matter? I'm gonna get to that. Just let me keep doing my thing. But I got it. Exactly. This is no longer about Drake versus Kendrick. I told y'all 2 years ago them niggas was facsimiles for much bigger ideals. I think y'all niggas weren't listening. I don't think y'all were listening. I really don't. And I tell y'all all the time, and I even told DJ this when he be like, bro, I'm tired of talking about this. I'm like, bro, like this is a backdrop for a much larger subset of issues. This is not just about Drake and Kendrick. It ain't been about Drake and Kendrick probably since fucking the Super Bowl. In all honesty, that's even stretching it. It was no longer about Drake and Kendrick when Drake filed the lawsuit. And that was before GNX, if I'm not mistaken. It stopped being about Drake and Kendrick when Drake filed the lawsuit. They were removed from the situation, to be completely honest. When Kendrick said, and bro, y'all gotta listen to the music, bro. When Kendrick said, and watch the party die, they don't hate me. They hate the man that I represent. This has been about personification for years. This has been about personification for years. These niggas are in slots. And this is like part of the half truth that they tell on the other side that I'm going to discuss in a second. While they say Kendrick is quote unquote a pawn, if we honor that and we humor that part of the conversation, it's not in relation to UMG. It's not. It has nothing to do with Jay-Z. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has something to do about the representation of blackness and the desire to dilute and ultimately erase. This is about the okay, hold on, y'all. Yo. Okay, I'm back. I just got swatted by Akademiks. Yeah, man, I got swatted by Akademiks, man. Yup. Shit crazy. Like you get to talking about what's going on, then you get swatted. It's crazy. I see some people dip. Niggas ain't got no patience. Okay. And you see how easy it is to lie about stupid shit like that? And just throw niggas' names and shit that ain't got no relation. Hold on, let me close this stuff. Okay. Do y'all remember? And I'm gonna try. And somebody let me know where I stopped, cause I had to go do something. Let me know what I was saying when I stopped. But I'm gonna tell you this little quick anecdote real quick. Do y'all remember when Trump brought up the emails with Hillary Clinton? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? That cost Hillary Clinton the election in 2016. Because he made her an enemy of the state in essence. Trump didn't have to be good. He just had to delegitimize Hillary. Hey, don't let's the D2B2 knows why, but let's stop mentioning Russia. The D2B2 knows why, but let's stop mentioning Russia. If you're gonna say something about them, speak in code. The last time Russia, the last time they got mentioned, I was in a situation that I had to get APSA to get me out of. Let's not say the R word. But where was I? Does anybody remember? They came in and just completely okay, this is no longer about Drake and Kendrick. I remember that. I'm gonna check it out. Let me see. Who was that? Votmail. Okay. Let's see. Is it this one? If you know your mythology and ancient history, it's very interesting that Kendrick's son is named Enoch and Drake's son is named Adonis. I have me and my wife have ventured through the book of Enoch. That story is crazy. That story is crazy about basically him just leaving for a long time and going and being with God. If I'm not mistaken, what's the is it man that walks with God? What is it? Dedicated or trained and consecrated? I don't know. Hold on. Or is that it? But anyway, the story about Enoch. I'm not particularly familiar with the story of Adonis. The story of Adonis as it relates to mythology, but okay. Yeah. The whole lock her up thing, even though she was not guilty of the event. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be true. That goes into what I'm gonna get to about the whole yellow journalism, about narrative crafting. It's all like we are in the, and that's why I likened it to the Cold War. We are in the midst of some very political, like these niggas have studied, but also politicians decriminalized propaganda because they understood the power of propaganda. So if anything, there has been a silent marriage between established media and politics for hundreds of years. So much so that they was like, you know what? Fuck it. Propaganda's back, baby. Propaganda is back, baby. and we are going to use it to our benefit. Adonis is about male perfection. Let me see. Okay, real quick, just to get the context. Okay, Enoch is a unique biblical patriarch best known for walking closely with God. Okay, and bypassing physical death, found primarily in Genesis 5. His brief account in the Old Testament describes life and a profound faith that embedded when God abruptly took him away. Exactly. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. Yes. Walking with God, Genesis. Yep. Okay. Yes. So basically, faith personified is Enoch. So let's look up Adonis, story of Adonis in Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, Adonis was a mortal youth of breathtaking beauty who became the central figure in a passionate love triangle between two goddesses, symbolizing the seasonal cycle of life, death, and rebirth. The curse. Adonis was born from an incestuous union between Smyrna, and her father, King Theseus, brought about by a curse from or anger toward goddess Aphrodite. The Mercury, fleeing her father's wrath, pregnant Mirth prayed to the gods for escape and was transformed into a Mercury. After 9 months, the church bark split open. I'm not sure how this relates. I'll probably have to actually go through the story of Adonis, but the one being of direct, the name being of lineage, to ancient biblical times, and the other one being of a lineage of more folklore. It's like a whole real and fake thing. But okay, let me look. Okay, so shout out to Robin. Always coming through with the die wolves, but right now we just got some knowledge. This is an example of McCarthyism, the House Un-American Committee, late 1950s, where they went after primarily anyone, e.g. writers, actors, etc., and tried to label them as communist. Same playbook. And that's what I was saying earlier. It's all about earthly versus spiritual. Got you. Thank you. Okay, so that's what I was talking about earlier. Shout out to Robin. It is the weaponizing of certain terms. And if you can do that, you can create mobs that you have galvanized around this word and use them at any time. It's not just about dot. They don't just want to purge dot. They want to purge all core elements to hip hop, because that's the only way that they can come in and be legitimized. In hip hop, at its core essence, it's only a manifestation of Black culture. And Black culture is only a manifestation of the expression of Blackness, which is a representation of our humanity. And if they can strip our humanity away from us and then take it, wear it, disseminate it, and dictate it, we have lost the thing. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's not just about Drake and Dot. This is about Black erasure in a space that was created as a escape and a place to showcase Black existence. So when we get people who say, yeah, man, hip hop is this, hip hop is that, yada, 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 it's bad, it's destructive, that is an element of Black existence in America. At its root, hip hop, as it became an oral art form, is predicated on showcasing and illustrating the Black existence. You feel what I'm saying? So if it's built on that, the pillars that hold it up are also built on that. And then you go through those and get more specific with what you want to highlight and what will keep the thing strong. Honesty, integrity, authenticity, speaking truth to power. If they can, and I'm sure there are actual pillars to hip hop, and somebody will explain, but as it relates to what the thing, what makes it stand out from other elements of art, particularly orally performed art, no pause, we playing. If they can remove those things, anything will be able to fly. And once to the root level, like I explained all of those things, how hip hop, black culture, blackness, humanity, if they can break it down all the way to humanity and delegitimize the necessity for humanity in this art form, not even just blackness, humanity, which is what they've been trying to do over the last 2 years, which is also why on a much larger level, Drake is an enemy to hip hop, along with Timbaland in some instances. The attempted emergence of AI in music, that is an attack on humanity, not just hip hop. They are trying to prove to you that hip hop or that humanity in music is not a prerequisite. They are trying to convince you that humanity in the arts is not a prerequisite. And that is why at peak visibility, Drake started popping out with AI shit. Go watch the tape. Go actually pay attention to the timeline of the battle. You get Drake. No. Yeah. Okay, so let me go back, because I'm gonna rush through this and get back to my shit. I got some shit. I kind of feel like Deontay Cal right now. Shout out to him. Shout out to the Grits and Eggs podcast and Big Ice Cup. But let's go back to first person shooter. First person shooter drops. On a more surface level, that was an attempt to box Kendrick out. He no. Then they double down with Evil Ways, and then Drake goes solo and triples down with Red Button. It gets quiet. Dot then responds, America has a problem. The year turns over, 2024. Like That drops. Kendrick says what he says, gets shit going, get shit shaking. Fuck the big three. It's just big me. Nigga bum. It gets quiet again. The first time Drake reappears is a song that we can't tell is AI or not, with push-ups. And it takes a week and a new beat and some revamped lyrics before it gets released again. It's still quiet from the other side. Narratives are being crafted around the battle from the likes of people who care more about the institution that has been created around hip hop than hip hop itself. So you get Akademiks, all of those people who have been adding oil and fuel to that engine to make it more expansive, so we no longer are able to plant our flag in the ground for culture, because they have changed the word with another word that starts with C and ends with E, being commerce. And when money rules all, the end goal will be saving as much money as possible while making as much money as possible. And what is the most valuable and expensive resource in music, human input. Continue. Time passes after the release of Push-Ups, which allegedly was leaked, but a lot of people were under the impression that that song was AI. That has not been confirmed, but that is a rumor. We have confirmed sighting of the use of AI, tailor-made freestyle. AI voice filter for Tupac, AI voice filter for Snoop. Now Drake is actively using AI in a battle to push this type of energy into the universe to see if it would be acceptable, but also to win this battle. You know what happens after that? Or in the time as all of these things are happening, this is all happening simultaneously. And it's funny I played it now because it makes sense to bring it back up. That AI filter song that I played probably about a week or two ago of Buddy rapping, pretending to be Kendrick through the AI filter, a series of those songs were releasing. And the goal, even though not stated, the reason that they were able to blow up, the reason that they were able to get clipped and narratives attached to them was to see. Because now we know for a fact, an admitted fact, that Akademiks has admitted to doing things on the behest of record labels and directly linked the relationships with certain artists with monetary exchange. Exactly. Shout out to Keish. Even firms and other music-related entities on behalf of Drake were reaching out to content creators willing to pay them to push Drake narratives in favor for them. So, if they were willing to push narratives, and this is speculation, if they were willing to push narratives on behalf of Drake, the larger entities at play that we saw get a stronger foothold in music after the introduction and soft launch through tailor-made freestyles and quite possibly push-ups in AI infiltration in music, you don't think that they would be pushing that too? You don't think that they would be exercising their ability to introduce and crowdsource response to said content? You feel what I'm saying? So back to it. We start to get Drake AI songs. We start to get Kendrick AI songs. They're getting a lot of attention. The end goal is to see how they are responded to see if they are if we are literate enough musically to be able to tell the difference. We were able at the time to tell the difference. And this is with a vast majority of hip hop fans or people engaged in the situation not directly being super duper hip hop fans. Because this had the attention of much more than just the normal hip hop fan engaged. This was clearly a pop thing. This was a popular culture thing. This was a popular music thing. Although it resided within the space of hip hop and was predicated on the elements of hip hop, this expanded much beyond that. And that's why now we can look up effectively 2 years later and people are like, oh my God. It's like, no, this shit, the shockwaves of what is the equivalent to an atomic bomb from that beef have created, or Big Bang, have created sustainable economic systems, sustainable narrative crafting engines, sustaining personalities as it pertains to media, sustainable audiences. And y'all don't think it's a fight over that? I need y'all to understand this shit bigger than Nino Brown, bro. This shit is bigger than Nino Brown. They are fighting for the spoils of what happened. At the end of the day, a whole bunch of money fell on the table. Somebody got to clean it up. There was an unintended jackpot that fell on the table in the middle of a crap game or in the middle of a roulette game. Just a whole bunch of extra money fell out of nowhere. A whole bunch of extra resources fell out of nowhere that seemingly were created out of thin air. A whole bunch of newly re-entered audience members have come out of nowhere. These are numbers, customers, credit card purchases, subscriptions, retention hours, other analytics used for brand deals, sponsorships, collaborations, new deals with established institutions. There is real estate to be snatched up right now. And now we are witnessing the fight to take it. We are witnessing the fight to take it. And in order to take it, the people that are looking for or don't know that they need direction are waiting to be told in which direction to venture forth in. And the word is hip hop. Another word that'll ultimately lead up to the carousel or up the ladder to hip hop is journalism. Another word, blackness. Another word, outsider. These are all words that lead to the ultimate word at the top of the ladder of hip hop. So if we can start knocking those words down on the way up, all that we have is, culture. That's another word. All that we have is the word at the top, hip hop. So now, if you look at hip hop, how they're treating it is if it is synonymous with the word God, right? Hip hop in this analogy is synonymous with the word God, right? If they can convince you that one group is not hip hop, and not only not hip hop, but anti-hip hop, and create a level of disdain to anything that comes from them is a particular type of propaganda, a particular type of disinformation, a particular type of elitism dying for survival, longing for continued existence. They can get you to turn your back on that position. And then all of the stuff that's left in the middle is for them to take. That's why this is so consistent. That's why this is so pervasive. And that's why we can't get it to go away, because the actual battle is not the type of content. It's the ability to have the content consumed. I need y'all to follow me, man. This ain't about content, baby. This ain't about content. The battle is no longer about content, because if it was about content, quality would be part of the conversation. It's not about that. It is about consumption. It is about production and consumption. It is not about the actual thing being produced. It is about who can make the most of it, number one, because that dictates how much you can generate, but also who consumes what and who feels compelled to continue to consume such things. So when I show y'all a video of Wack talking to Ack about alliances as it relates to the game, it's not really about the game. It's about them deciding that they want to come together and buy up a plot of land. And they want to build infrastructure on that land and ultimately use that infrastructure to create institution. and add that to the other things that are pre-existing. And that's where speculation, because you need money to go to war. That is why they are all coalescing under stake, under Happy Dad. That is another part of the another part of the representation of their coalition. Because like I said, this shit is bigger than just that. But they need money to continue to push the shit. They need money to build infrastructure. Like all of this shit is connected. All of it is connected. Okay, look at it like this. Give me 1 second. Who designed the Nazi uniforms in World War II? Does anybody know? Who designed the uniforms for the Nazis in World War II? Anybody know? Hugo Boss. Chanel did something else. Chanel did not contribute positively to Instead, she collaborated with Nazi Germany. Declassified intelligence records reveal she registered as a Nazi agent, codenamed Westminster, had a romantic relationship with a spy, and used anti-Semitic laws to seize full control of her perfume company from her Jewish business partners. Okay, my point is, there will be outside entities that are invested and that are financially invested in and will make investments on the main thing. Right? So when you look at the entities that are in play, when you look at big oil's involvement in war, when you look at big tech's involvement in war, when you look at fucking going back, when you look at those are two of the main ones. But also when you look at the church's involvement or people using the church as a pedestal to stand on to enact war against other people. There will continuously be institutions used. There will continuously be financial institutions used to gain profit, to continue to push a given thing along. So you see all of those guys have a connection to Happy Dad, Kick, Steak, Trump. Then when you look at what Trump is doing, using some of these same techniques, it is to make America dumber, make America more radicalized as it pertains to the Christian religion and white supremacy, and destroy all relation with non-white immigrants. It's all about destabilization to usher in what you see as the new quote unquote future for maximum capitalizing in a way that suits you best. But you have to destabilize what already exists. And piece by piece, you take from it. They have been actively destabilizing the Department of Education. What are they doing in hip hop streaming or streaming that they're trying to infuse into hip hop? Anti-intellectualism. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. So the whole beef just made Zelos money. It's not, I don't like the just made, because that's not the end goal. The whole thing is about, like I'm saying, like it's a part of, like black erasure is a component. Reallocation of resources is another thing. Colonization is a completely different thing. Like this is another instance of stealing black invention and repurposing it to sell to a larger base. Black erasure at the expense of peddling a specific narrative about black propaganda. You have to demonize the thing to put the people in the periphery in a situation of controlled apathy to watch the thing happen. They pitted Drake against Kendrick as a battle of culture. I won't say they pitted. No. Okay. Drake is a representation of not only commercialization, but the destructuring of the culture that created hip hop, right? If Drake wins, they can take over. Who is they? I hate when people ask that question. Follow the money. Follow the money. All of the institutions connected that you see are putting money in and taking money out is the they. I'm not about to sit here and say the J word to tickle nobody fancy. Look at who's financially invested in all of these things. We sat on stream maybe 8 months ago and connected the McMahons to Turning Point. No, we connected them to what's the shit that Candace Owens used to be, the thing that the place she used to work with? It's not Turning Point. It's I can't remember, but they were looking to circumvent the Department of Education that she works for now to input the new one that she had been working for quietly behind the scenes. Well, not even behind the scenes, but just before she became the head of the Department of Education. It's entities like that. PragerU, thank you. Man, come here, my nigga. Yes, she was the head of PragerU. So when you put the head of PragerU, which is looking to be the alternative source for education in America, in PragerU, you put her in position to be the head of the Department of Education and watch the Department of Education slowly die. And y'all ask who's they? You gotta look, man. A lot of times, the person who's looking to destabilize a thing has a thing to replace it. Anytime you see somebody actively and aggressively looking to destabilize a thing, they're doing that with the intent to replace it. So when you ask who is the they, we can look already at the AI implementation. That goes to big tech. That goes to big tech. Just like when you fucking look at who are behind the agencies and snatching up all of the fucking houses in America through this will purchase in cash or whatever the case is, and then you find out that they just got jammed up for trying to do that, and that's kind of been made illegal. It's like, oh, so all of these singular places that you would see calling and sending you letters in the mail asking to buy your house, that was all connected to a bigger conglomerate. You just have to follow the money. You just have to follow the money. It ain't no group of 8 people sitting in no house doing demonic rituals that I can confirm having ungodly fleshly communications with each other. This is a very well connected string of institution. Okay, so let me dial it back before we get too far. Let's bring it back to as this relates to media, because I got like 40 minutes. I appreciate y'all rocking with me, but yes, just follow the money. Just follow the money, bro. But who funds those institutions? Continue to follow the money. Continue to follow the money. Like, perfect example. We look at Dana White for UFC, and now we see that there's a connection between them and the president. It's like, okay. And then you're like, okay, well, who owns UFC? Who's directly heavily investing into boxing? Why is there a desire to take boxing to the Middle East? What is it for? And then it becomes a geopolitical thing. Like it's like a lot of this shit is geopolitical. It is about control. It is about control. It is about being able to control word, being able to control thought, being able to control comprehension. Exactly. Golf too. Yes. Free to Sudan, as a matter of fact. If y'all haven't already, please research the Phoenicians in ancient history and their descendants. Shout out to Vought Mill. Bro. Okay. We getting a little deep. Okay. So this is something that I wanted to show y'all. Because my whole point was, like, we looking at this shit like we keep saying dot, and it's so much bigger than dot. And this is from Medium, MS, I'm assuming her name is Circus. Analyst, philosopher, narrative strategist, exploring how Shout out to her. Okay. The point of this is, what is narrative warfare and why are you already fighting it? Okay. Let's see. I want to skip that. That's the lead in. By now, most of us have heard the term disinformation, false information deliberately spread. Likewise, misinformation, untrue information shared without malicious intent is nearly as ubiquitous. Yet, there's another lesser known battleground beneath these familiar concepts: narrative warfare. Unlike traditional disinformation, narrative warfare isn't about disputing facts directly. Instead, it is the strategic, intentional manipulation of how facts are perceived. It is a fight over interpretation, a battle for meaning, and ultimately for belief itself. Consider this. A quick preliminary search on YouTube reveals a stark disparity. Videos about disinformation rack up millions of views, while discussions on narrative warfare linger far behind, rarely surpassing Ironically, even the terms disinformation and misinformation are themselves framing devices. They are subtle examples of narrative warfare in action. But let's step back. What exactly is narrative warfare? Listen up. Narrative warfare encompasses propaganda, framing, and intentional contextual manipulation. It involves consciously shaping information to influence perception. It is not necessarily lying, but selectively presenting truths. Is that familiar? Think of it as semantic combat. Wielders of words carefully choose language and context, fully aware of every subtle implication and every possible inference the audience might make. Like any tool, narrative warfare isn't inherently malicious. After all, words themselves carry no morality, but in practiced hands, they can be sharper and more lethal than any blade, precisely because they instruct the blade where to strike. You know who's the blade? Do y'all know who's the blade? Let me reduce the size of that. I'm asking a question to the chat. Do y'all know who the blade is in this metaphor? As I'm relating it back to hip hop. Do y'all know who the blade is? Well, not hip hop, but just media in hip hop. Do y'all know who the blade is? Nigga, no, not Wesley Snipes. Ack is not the blade. No, he is not. I'm waiting. Who is the blade? And no, it's not Wesley Snipes. Man, bruh, I swear to God, bro. Shout out to my nigga D2B2, bro. I'm glad that somebody is picking up what I'm putting down. The blade is the general audience. People, the blade is the general audience. That is why I said earlier, they are looking to weaponize and galvanize the audience based on given framed premises to do their work for them. That is why Wack went to Ack and Adam 22 and Vlad and all of these people to create a framework wrapped around the game that the icing on the cake is hate for Kendrick Lamar. That is just a part of this. If they can unite under a hatred for a given thing, any support of anything, no, they will be willing to support anything that is in opposition of the thing they hate, even if it is to no benefit of their own. Even if it is of no benefit of their own. Perfect example. Niggas in rural communities will not vote for healthcare to be free and universal because they don't want niggas to have it. They will vote actively against their own best interests because they have been giving a thing to hate. And they are willing to commit to hating that thing above all else. And that's why they are a blade. Shout out to 72 Pass. Who are the 85%? They are the deaf, the dumb, and the blind who can easily be manipulated. We are seeing this in real time. Exactly. And they are weaponizing that. They are weaponizing that. Let's continue. All art is propaganda in some way. That's even framed a certain way. That is even framed a certain way. That is the type of half-truth narrative framing that they will use. Hey, nobody's morally perfect. So what makes you better than me if we all imperfect? Or we all fuck up sometimes. We all write articles that have things that need to be redacted or retracted or apologized for or just straight up omitted in editorial. So if we all do that, what makes you more of a journalist than me? What makes you more hip hop than me? If I can position this thing as about appreciating the art form, and if we both can say we appreciate it, what makes you more of the culture than me? You feel what I'm saying? If I can give you pieces of something and expect a level of resonance with it between you and I can use that thread to tell you a series of lies based on the one seed of truth that I planted. Shout out to As Above, So Below. As far as the Department of Education, look at the DeVos family. Trump's first education secretary is Betsy DeVos. They've been destroying public education for decades. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is a plan. I was talking about this not too long ago. There has been a plan in place actively since maybe, I think they said 1974, which has been a very tailored plan and being studied and crafted incrementally in direct response to the Civil Rights Bill or the Civil Rights Act of 1965. We are witnessing the manifestation of a half century of planning. We are witnessing the manifestation of a half century of planning. That's why shit is rolling out in this manner. They have been planning for the entire generation. I'm fumbling over my words. They have been planning for an entire generation. So when you see Project 2025 be introduced in 2024, and they halfway through it in a year, that's because they've been planning on it, putting people in position, crafting narrative, creating sleeper cells. They've been doing all of this shit all of this time. So when you see, it's like, damn, they're on a roll. It's because they've been planning for it for so long. So when you look at this and you see all of the attempts that they have made through the Drake experiment to delegitimize certain elements of hip hop, you'll understand why it's like, okay, the media, members of the fucking media in hip hop became apologists around Drake not writing his raps. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? And I don't want to just lead you. One part of it is big media was partaking in the success of Drake. And by partaking, I mean, if they believe he's the story to follow, a la a LeBron James, they'll continue to push positive spins on narrative because they can't walk away from the golden goose. That too. And that's a part of them being apologists for it. So the thing is, and this is the one thing that Republicans and academics have correct. The left is lying to you. The left has been lying to you. And if the left reestablishes itself to a level of prominence, the left will continue to lie to you. They will continue to lie to you. Right? So let's continue. Well, let me say this. So with that, academics can lie to you in the open because he is presented and in essence attempted to prove, and to a lot of 85ers has convinced them that the left is lying to them. So if they can lie, I can lie too. It's about who tells the lies that I feel more galvanized by and can be convinced that they have a level of truth to them. Shout out to Your Music Diva is here. Project 2025, better known as the Mandate for Leadership, was created in 1979. Ronald Reagan began using it during his administration. And that's why I'm saying, bro, like, this shit deeper than hip hop, bro. I promise y'all. Because a lot of people who are influential in other spaces see hip hop as a viable weapon to yield. Which is why hip hop was attacked in the 80s. And once hip hop got to a place where it couldn't be destroyed, it had to be co-opted. It has to be co-opted so it's easier to be controlled. Dead prayers, yep. If you can't be the thing, you either join the thing and become the thing in partnership, or you infiltrate the thing and corrupt the thing. Because it'll still be here, but you can change how it looks. Iceman had a MAGA cosign. Bro, it's too many signs to ignore or just play this shit off like it's some bullshit happening. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so let me read this last part and then we're gonna get off of this. My bad, y'all. Okay, so word strike. All art is propaganda in some way. Every song, film, book, or painting carries a message, whether the creator intends it or not. Problems arise, however, when those paid to report reality begin to script it instead. Hold on, wait. Problems arise, however, when those paid to report reality begin to script it instead. When you can start to frame what's going on in a way to serve a greater agenda, you can no longer be trusted. Until we can track what your agenda is and assess it. Shout out to Votmail Skip. Don't you think it's weird for Giannis to be on Neon stream saying Kendrick won the battle, but Drake won the war? It's suspicious. It is suspicious. Because what the fuck is Giannis doing on stream with Neon? It is indeed suspicious. It is indeed suspicious. The last part. No. We got, I don't know if I want to get into this a lot. I'm gonna drop this link if y'all want to read this on y'all own time. Cause it covers some more shit. And the mods, if y'all are able to, just circle, somebody put that, if they can, one of the mods, just copy that and put it in the comment section. So if anybody want to, pull this up later, they can. But I'm gonna read partial truths and then just say the other highlighted parts. But partial truths are primary ammunition of narrative warfare. Facts, when divorced from context, this is another important part. Facts, when divorced from context, remain technically accurate, yet become profoundly misleading. Omission is particularly insidious. It is a stealth weapon. A fact intentionally left out often does far more damage than an outright lie. This is a very crude tactic used by the right. The left is more polished in how they execute this, but the right just be like, hey, we're going to force the lie down your throat. And actually it's remarkably effective. Consider how difficult it is to counteract such framing. You're forced into saying, well, that part is true, but, and at that point, as many listeners have already tuned out, after all, even if your counter argument confirms a piece of the narrative, why should the missing context matter? If something sounds bad, it's bad, period. And shout out my brother DJ. Shout out my brother DJ. My good brother DJ is a very idealistic man in the sense of what's right is right and wrong is wrong. And people who tend to think like that are very admirable. That mindset is admirable, but it can be taken advantage of in a world that does not exist in idealism. Because the goal of partial truths is to take advantage of people who think in those more absolute frames of mind. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And they will give you a thing to hold on to and exclude context that may alter or inform your position further. That's why the OGs always say you can tell 1,000 lies with one truth. You can tell 1,000 lies with one truth. Okay, so linguistic framing, the power of words. That's another portion. Presentation, how we see shapes what we think. Let me see. I think I want to read these last two. Every moviegoer and gamer is familiar with how presentation influences perception. A hero enters the scene accompanied by triumphant music and bright lighting. This is why Akademiks was so excited on the phone with Wack. And this is why he was so excited reacting to the game's new single. It's about the framing. It's about presentation. If you are able to see him enjoying it in a way, it subtly conditions you to do the same. If I can scream a particular thing, yelling out its effect with passion, there is a higher percentage that you will believe me. Akademiks is dissing Chick Smooth. He's trying to get him out the way. And don't be surprised if that continues. Akademiks TV, aka Grand Wizard, starts doing audio only videos. Don't be surprised. It's either gonna be him or what's the dirt. If they start to move Chigs out the way or start to create tension with Chigs and start to delegitimize him to his base, do not be surprised if either Grand Wizard, matter of fact, we're gonna call him George. We're gonna call him George. If George or Maddie Nosebeers start to do videos in that similar format, because there's going to be a vacuum and a desire for that particular format because people have become accustomed to it. So all they got to do is replace the face and the voice. It's all about strategic removal and replacement. Our responsibility, information literacy. So when y'all was asking about what's the solution, this is a part of it. We have to be more informed, more literate, and more intentional about what we consume. Because we may not be able to, I don't think we can destabilize academics. What we can do is find ways to disengage and support and uphold what we do fuck with. Because as we can see, Akademiks has very powerful entities pushing him. Akademiks is getting paid by record labels. Akademiks is getting paid by billion-dollar corporations. Akademiks is in the pockets of very important and rich, wealthy people with an established agenda. These the same niggas who want to sell dick pills and gambling to 17 and 18-year-old kids in the midst of feeding them slop, low vibrational shit, and then using the thrill of sex and the money that they're making from gambling to serve as a dopamine spike while continuing to feed them low vibrational content on an endless loop. That is another part of why streams are successful. They are able to draw you in on a seemingly endless loop of mind-numbing content with product placement and advertisements all throughout. And that's why I said this is a battle for the people who have reemerged. This is a battle for the landscape, the landscape and real estate that has been made available. Somebody got to sell to them. Somebody has to make them, somebody has to create, has to go from cold call to conversion. feel what I'm saying? So let me read this. Our responsibility, information literacy. Though it might feel unfair, the burden ultimately falls on us, the audience. To protect ourselves from manipulation, we must constantly question, is this claim true? More importantly, is it the whole truth? Why is the information framed this way? Who benefits from this particular narrative? Is the framing due to bias, ignorance, or deliberate intent? We need you to become full-time investigators. Simply pausing to ask why this angle can blunt even the sharpest narrative blade. Before sharing information, question who stands to gain from its framing. Only then should you decide if it deserves your voice. And I am going to be more cognizant of this as well. So when it comes to sharing things from academics as it goes forward, see Siri listening. When it comes to sharing things from academics going forward, I won't. Unless I'm using it to do something like this, to enrich the conversation that we're having, because the conversation is about academics in essence, but more so about the things that they're practicing to capture our attention and ultimately dominate what we consume and how we perceive what we consume. So it's more so about us than them. So when it's like, oh shit, we're talking about academic, we're talking about da. It's a greater metaphor for a deeper thing. And also, sometimes when a nigga put Drake in the fucking thumbnail or in the title, people are going to show up, and by the time they realize what they getting, hopefully I'm charismatic and informed and entertaining enough to keep you here while we share this information. You feel what I'm saying? So there will come a time where that side will eat itself, because once the quote unquote racism is over, classism takes full effect, because it can only be one. It can only be one. Look at it like this. Before they came over here, whites was fighting whites. Before they came to America and started allowing people to come into whiteness, they was fighting each other. So if they were to push all of the non-whites out of America, a civil war is inevitable. A civil war is inevitable. If they push out all the non-whites, a civil war is inevitable, because it'll be based on classism. And you can see that looking at fights between labor unions and corporations. You can see it in multiple different forms. There will be a class fight, because there can only be one standing. And they get into purity politics once they eliminate all of the obvious people. It's going to be like, okay, we have a certain phenotype that represents our best and brightest, our most pure state. If you don't represent that, who can get you the fuck out of here? We're going to get you the fuck out of here. So I urge you, be more informed. Don't allow the rage bait to put you in a position where you're out of emotion pushing their propaganda. You feel what I'm saying? So now, let me see if I've got through the most of the shit that I wanted to get through. Narrative warfare, propaganda, attack on blackness, demonizing hip hop culture. That was what I was talking about the last stream. Hey man, that act, I did a clip mimicking act. That shit went dumb viral on on Twitter. That shit had like 60,000 views. But the goal is to demonize everything that currently exists within hip hop culture so they can replace it. It's just like when you call a nigga a beast. When you call a nigga a beast and you say he's 3/5 of a human, you can eat him, you can beat him to death, work him to death, rape them. You can separate them from their families. You can separate them from their culture. You can separate them from their heritage and their history because you have convinced everyone else that's observing that this is not a human. So once you strip them of their humanity, you can take everything else from them. So if we let them take the culture from hip hop, nothing else will remain. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why now culture is a buzzword. The two people who were fighting actively against culture they happen to be biracial and predominantly raised by their white mothers. I don't know if that, I understand correlation does not equal causation. But it's kind of funny that both of them grew up in the same subsect, although in different parts of the world. So let me continue. Let's see. Strategic partnerships to build alliances to mislead the youth. They paid money through shady practices to aggressively legitimize while destabilizing established institutions. Talked about that. How should current content creators and career journalists respond? Keep doing them. Rob Markman don't need to go back and forth with Akademiks. That only further legitimizes Akademiks, especially in the space of a catty back and forth. You say your piece and you keep it pushing. Justin Hunt does not need to go back and forth and quote unquote check Akademiks. There's no checking Akademiks. There's nothing anyone can say to Akademiks to make him stop. Your job as a member of the legacy media and prestige media is to continue to do your fucking job. And not only do your fucking job at maximum capacity. Be thorough, be specific, and yet concise. And since you are in the realm of digital media, be entertaining. Don't go back and forth with this nigga. We already see he is a vacuum that will absorb all of your facts, all of your reasoning, all of your logic, all of your resume, all of the history that comes with that. It does not matter to him. What he's going to do, What's the Dirt is not biracial. I was talking about Drake and J. Cole. He's going to absorb all of that as energy because it validates him. The fact that Rob Markman is willing to have a conversation about journalism with Akademiks makes Akademiks' claims more valid. And all Akademiks is doing is waiting to get these niggas in a gotcha moment that starts to delegitimize them. The goal is to start making niggas look at them different. If he can finally find the equivalent to the Hillary Clinton email shit, he wins. He wins. If he can throw these niggas in a bear trap, he wins, and that's what he's waiting on. That's what he's trying to draw them out to do. That's what he's trying to draw them out to do. And I'm telling y'all, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a reason why he won't go at Joe. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what it is yet, but he will not go at Joe Budden. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm gonna ever find out, but I do know it's something worth finding out. Okay. Oh, she mad. But yeah, so let me see. But yeah, just continue to do y'all thing. Be honest, have integrity, present yourself in a professional, as much of a professional fashion as possible when doing the specific journalistic things, and leave little to no room for counter narratives to attempt to delegitimize what you're doing. Is it too late to stop Act? Yes. Should we try? No. Does he matter? Should he matter? Yes, he matters. Should he matter? No. To the structure of hip hop as it relates, because his claim to fame is not hip hop. He has found his way to inside the institutional structure and economy of the hip hop industry, or the music industry, and has filtered into the the genre of hip hop and some of the subgenres of hip hop, whether it be trap, the pop rap, and all of these other things. That's why he matters, because he has attached himself to the economy of the music industry. So he will matter until he stops in some form or fashion. The thing is, how much are we going to allow him to continue to matter to us? Right? Akademiks is an institution. He's not going anywhere. Sorry to tell y'all. Unless that nigga goes to prison, he's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. I'm sorry. He got tapped in with too much. He got tapped in to too much power by proximity. It's over with. It is over with. So unless he pissed them off, he ain't going nowhere. Once Flacco got exposed for being anti-black, all of his propaganda stopped. He wasn't big enough. He wasn't big enough. Akademiks was just on stream talking about Jay-Z just picked out his nigga hair. And he's saying that he was going to beat Drake with blackness. This nigga has been openly anti-black. He has been openly sexually suggestive to minors. This nigga has been openly admitting that he would have sex with a fucking minor, as long as she got a college ID. Akademiks is kind of beyond that point of like being exposed. If Akademiks does not get convicted of a criminal offense, he's not going anywhere. I'm sorry to tell you. And he has created an enemy in Rock Nation so deep that if he does get convicted of any offenses, shout out to Moni, they will land on Rock Nation did this. He has created an enemy so deep that they will stand on that, and he will spend the entire time he is in prison for whatever he's convicted of, blaming Rock Nation. And niggas will believe him because they want a reason to hate Rock Nation. It ain't got to be based in fact if I convince you to hate him. Because that's the fact we living in, that we all hate this nigga. We hate Jay-Z because he don't like Drake. And since he don't like Drake, everything that he does, we gonna find a problem with it. The nigga supported Meg Thee Stallion via Rock Nation. So somehow Rock Nation had something to do with the bullshit that y'all was doing to Megan. Included, but not limited to, firing, discharging a firearm at Megan. Niggas is still somehow convinced through their hatred of Megan, which is only an extension of their hatred for Rock Nation, which is also accompanied by Massage Noir and other things, but it traces back to their hate for Rock Nation. So once again, the whole argument that I was giving earlier about the likening to communism or the Communist Party in the 60s, they are doing that now. If they can generate emotional response, there will be no logical filtering. That's why we have to be logical first. Because if not, we're no better than them. And that's why I be trying to pull y'all back sometime. Like, niggas gotta like let the rope go on dot a little bit and be able to step back and see the forest for the trees. Because if they can keep y'all in that level of engagement, you're continuing to allow them to trap you in that specific space. You feel what I'm saying? So, and shot, what's good, Locomotion, and continue to enjoy Dot, listen to his music, watch his career progress, listen to his old shit, all of that. Stop arguing with these stupid ass niggas on these social media platforms, because not only are they monetizing your engagement, they're also using you as a vehicle to continue to push their narrative. I have not actively been on Twitter since 2012, 2011. No, not 2012. Hell no, like 2010. But since I got back on it a couple months ago, trying to push Deciphered and shit, I'm seeing now, niggas just put out narrative all day. Niggas put out narratives all fucking day. No facts, no citing sources, no nothing. A nigga will post a picture of a person sitting in front of a microphone like this and pretend to direct quote them. So if you sitting up there arguing with niggas that will do that, you're putting yourself in a position where you're no better than them. So check this out. If you fuck with hip hop in the ways that have earned your engagement and earned your respect and appreciation. And if you fuck with people who are looking to engage with hip hop in that same way, be it content creators, be it journalists, be it publication, be it whatever, other fans and appreciators of the thing, coalesce with them, support what they're doing. And support is not always monetary. That is a small portion of what support is. I never say like, comment, share, hype, subscribe, and Cash App. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hype. Those are 5 different elements of support before we even get to any consideration of anything monetary. Those 5 things can bring money. Those 5 things can bring money. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hype. Those 5 things can bring financial or just introduce economy to content creators. So if a nigga say, hey man, I'm gonna do this, I want y'all to support it. Boom. Support the shit. And sometimes, if you know you're going to get back to something, engage with it initially and then double back. Because they're going out of their way to engage. We need to as well. I'm not saying bot anything. But what I'm saying is, let's say, because YouTube is about to change how they calculate views. Excuse me, I just burped, I'm sorry. As soon as you click on a video, that counts as a view. So let's say you see a video that you fuck with. You can pull that video up, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you don't have time, you can come back to it later. By you selecting that video, it's going to pop up in your history. It's going to pop up in your liked videos. And the more you interact with that particular piece of that particular content creator, they're going to show up more in your algorithm. And you did not spend a penny. You didn't spend a penny. But you just supported something that you fuck with in more than one way. So now you are continuing to keep them in your realm of support. And you're not going to like everything. And that's not the point. But if somebody's actually putting out well-crafted, well-thought-out hip-hop based content, and that's what you're here for, fuck with them. Fuck with them. If somebody's putting out well-crafted, focused hip-hop music, fuck with them. Fuck with them. YouTube is now also about to change how long it's going to take to monetize. They're doubling the subscriber count that you need to monetize and damn near doubling the amount of watch hours that you need to monetize. So I guarantee you that they're about to reduce the pay rate. I can't confirm that yet, but it only makes sense. They're making it harder to get to the money. They're making it harder to get to the money. Now it's going to be 1,000 subscribers to monetize. And because at first you used to be able to monetize a little bit. I think you could partially monetize with 500, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But there used to be a level of monetization at 500 subs. Now it's 1,000 as the base and 8,000 watch hours. I'm only saying that to say, if you fuck with somebody and they doing this YouTube shit, payment is not prerequisite. Support them. If you see an artist that you fuck with, support them. Support them. You don't have to buy 1,000 copies. You can buy one song from an album that you fuck with. That purchase of that one song is worth hundreds of streams. Okay? It's worth hundreds of streams. Because if the album is $10 and you buy a single for $1 and it take 1,000 streams to get one sale, that one purchase of that is 100 streams. You feel what I'm saying? So just support them, bro. Just support what you fuck with. And then it's on us as content creators to make things that are worth your time. So it's a symbiotic relationship. We not gonna put out bullshit, but we want, when we work hard, to put out things that aren't bullshit for y'all to fuck with it. So that lets us know that we don't have to clickbait y'all to death. You know what I'm saying? It'll already be being pushed to your algorithm. So there's a greater chance that we get a click. You know what I'm saying? So that way we can take more chances as opposed to giving you mundane shit that's just, it feels like it's repetitive. We can give you that too, but then we can take chances and talk about shit that is more meaningful and will have a more lasting impact to you as the viewer, as opposed to just something you can come back and eat every day. So, speaking of, we got stat quote, man. We got stat quote, man. He been giving us shit we can eat every day. For the last few weeks, he has been giving us something to eat every day. Every day.
Drake wrote the line.
He's been giving us something to eat every day. That does not mean it's high quality food. But it also does not mean it's poor quality food. It's been available to eat every day. One thing I do want to say about stat quo, and it's an unfortunate truth. Stat quo has grown up in the industry. Stat quo has grown up in the industry. He has made a substantial life for himself inside the industry. His perspective has been shaped and molded by the industry. So when you see him talking about the industry, please understand that this is from the perspective of someone who has been thoroughly interwoven into the industry. Skip, do YouTube send notifications? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yep. Once you become at least to my knowledge, once you become a part of the YouTube partner program, they send you emails and push notifications about changes they're making as they're rolling them out. So yes. Yep. They even send you like monthly recaps and like videos on how to improve your YouTube. Yes. But let's play this. Because I'm also not sure if this specific video. I think it is. This particular video that we're going to play is about shout out to this person that's sending the super chat. It says morning third versers. I caught Therapy's Monday stream where he went over the Heist winning best rap album and compared it to Good Kid, Mad City, and it didn't hold up. What was your guys' thought on that still? We're gonna run it.
Kendrick just opened his mouth. We should just give him a Grammy right now. The Grammy spent years trying to make up for that mistake. They knew that was wrong. So that was completely like, I mean, I think that's one of the times where I guess the culture was like, hey yo, hey Grammys, we about to get you the fuck up out of here. Like, we about to get you the fuck. We couldn't believe it. And then all the stuff that went on behind the scenes that y'all don't be seeing with like what you have to go about to get a Grammy. You know, Topping out and the label did everything they were supposed to do in that situation. Like they didn't drop the ball at all. That was just some bullshit. And they knew it was. And that's why Kendrick has won a Grammy every year, even if he fucking
not even dropping nothing.
He gets a Grammy for eating breakfast. Because they fucked up. So they're trying to, but you can't fix them. You can't fix it because history is history. You know what I'm saying? And when we look back at that year that came out, we're gonna be like, damn, you know what I mean? Look how long it took Nas to get a Grammy, dog.
I can definitely.
Okay, right here, what he's doing is is Moni still here? Shout out to Moni if she's still here. I'm not sure if she's still here, but yeah, shout out to our cousin Moni. But I saw a video the video she did on this earlier. And of course, y'all know Moni when he got the receipts. That's what Moni's going to do. She's going to get the receipts. As it relates to this particular situation with Stat, I don't necessarily think it's super duper malicious. I think it's dangerous, but I don't necessarily think it's malicious. And by that, I don't think he had intent to disrespect Dot. I think that he got unnecessarily specific with facts that he didn't know. Let me let me put this down. It got that shit got just looking a little crazy. But what I'm saying about this particular point is he clearly didn't know when the albums came out. He clearly did not know when the albums came out. And that's why I'm saying I'm not necessarily sure it's malicious, because it's so incorrect. It's so incorrect. It's definitely dangerous. It's definitely dangerous because, and I'm talking about this particular thing. I'm talking about this in isolation. So if you have additional information about Stat, I don't watch them in I don't watch a lot of third verse podcasts, and I don't necessarily have the time to consume a lot of Culture United. So I'm not so I'm speaking on this in particular. When I was watching this and when he got the information and also watched Moni's video, he was discussing Kendrick in years he was not even nominated. The initial point that he was making was about the Grammys over was hit the not the point. The thing that he was addressing was his perspective on the perceived overcorrection of the Grammy Academy after fucking Kendrick over on Good Kid, Mad City versus The Heist. Understandable. However, where it starts to get dangerous is going forward. Kendrick's winning all of the awards. Kendrick is taking the awards from Travis Scott. He's taking the awards from Tyler the Creator. He's taking the awards away from said artists. He is picking out specific artists and creating a sub-argument to the initial point he was making, which is seated in specificity. Him using those specific artists created a narrative, and that is where it starts to get dangerous. And I'm not sure at this point, and I stand to be corrected like I was with the X situation, I have not come to the realization that he has intent to disparage Kendrick. I have seen where he's went out on a limb several times and spoke to Kendrick's praises. So like I said, if time reveals more to where, as it particularly relates to lingering subplot as it relates to Kendrick, we'll address that at that time. My first experience with Stat Quo, as far as watching him, was his interaction with Curtis King. So make no mistake, I am not a Stat Quo apologist by any means. That is not what I'm doing this for. I don't know Stat. I've seen Stat. And a lot of times, up until he started to drop information that people were curious about, he was looking a little crazy under the light. So now that he started to reveal information, the further and further we go, now he's starting to get himself in some more shit, just in a different way. So the primary thing might be, bro, talk too fucking much. That may be the primary thing. Bro might just talk too fucking much. He really might be talking too fucking much. We had the instance with the situation with the game and how that eventually turned into something that needed to be corrected behind the scenes. The situation with Top that kind of needed to be addressed behind the scenes. So there have been multiple situations where Stanton had to get pulled to the side. It's like, hey, my nigga, you talking too loose about shit. You know, and he's addressed that. But with this specific thing, the initial point of overcorrection by the Grammys, that's his initial point. Whether it's right or wrong, that is the initial point. After that, name dropping, the perspective of Kendrick is even upset at his winning. Those are completely different things. And when said by a person who has perceived allegiance to Kendrick, unknowingly or not, you are participating in discourse that is going to be used as a person with proximity to Kendrick to discredit what Kendrick is doing. So like I said, y'all may watch more of him than I do. Because like I said, I have tuned in to catch some pieces of third verse since they started to do more, since he started to like peel back the curtain, but in clips. So if y'all are seeing that there is more of a insidious plot to, I guess, head tap Kendrick or something, if I continue to watch, I'm hoping that my discernment will kick in to see that. Shout out to Tiffany, Shantae. After all the fallout from his last leak, you would think he would learn to reel it in. I have to think it's on purpose now. Oh shit. Oh, foot hurt. Okay, she ain't got no fever. Okay. I saw Tylenol and was like, fuck. Okay, y'all, let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm doing something. I'm sorry. Let me move this. Nope. I gotta get a wolf emoji, a wolf sound effect for when Robin come through with the dire wolves, because I'm sure that's what happened. Let's see. Yep. Shout out to Robin with the dire wolf. Shout out to Robin with the dire wolf. Big dog, $100 via Cash App, as well as T-Mac with the $20 via Cash App. That's a big dog. I appreciate it, Robin. She said, brilliant assessment. Thank you so much. And shout out to T-Mac with the Hip Hop Lives here. Okay, let's see. DNG says, Stat don't love Kendrick. That's why Top Dog had to call to correct the negative narrative he was about to say. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So let's continue this.
Confirm that the Grammys knew they messed up, because after that, there was a concerted effort by the hip hop, the R&B and rap and R&B committees for outreach to new voices, to extend opportunities to new people to become a part of the Academy and to join these conversations, which is how I got there. And but so
anyway. Of course, I want them to win. That still don't take away from the fact that these motherfuckers been trying to make up for it the last goddamn so many years. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
So reportedly, this is the text that Macklemore sent to Kendrick after Mac appreciates you as an artist. You sent out apologies? You sent out Pajoli sent an apology to Kendrick? Nah, we all need apologies. We all need apologies now. I need one. Now where it was a more broad way from time and voices that are connectable to become a part of the culture. And it's because it's on this. So the text message,
Hey yo, if somebody say we not downplaying his art, I'm not downplaying Kendrick's
No, we're
art.
not. No, he's
Of
amazing.
course, I want him to win every Grammy. Y'all know. I mean, I think it should be known now where my alliances stand. I don't have to be doing that, right? But anyway, of course, I want him to win. That still don't take away from the fact that these motherfuckers been trying to make up for it the last goddamn what's up.
Okay, I think there's got to be more than that. Hold on, let's see.
It was incredible.
Okay,
It did not win shit
Okay.
for domination, y'all.
Okay, my fault, y'all. Let's see, is this the one?
But I'm not gonna act like Kendrick the only person that has put out great music. And sometimes the stuff that he's put out, some people have put out something better. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Astro World did not win a Grammy.
Okay. Now, like I said, this is the part where you start to. This is the part where it's easy to be construed as disingenuous, right? This is the part of the conversation where it's very easy to be positioned as disingenuous, because in this element of his monologue right here, he is saying that Kendrick got in the way of an album like Astroworld, which in my opinion is a classic album. So let's do a thing right quick. I'm not gonna be able to pull it up because I got to keep this up. What album beat Astroworld at the Grammys? Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy won Best Rap Album at the 61st Grammy Awards in 2019, beating Travis Scott's Astroworld. Let's see when Damn dropped. I know it dropped in 2017. If I'm not mistaken, it was in May. April 7th, 2017. There is no way that it would have even been in the same Grammy cycle as Astroworld. And that's why I'm saying, I guess I'm trying to give grace or benefit of the doubt. But this album was in a completely different album cycle. It's not even in the same cycle. The Damn album won Grammy for Best Rap Album in 2018. So let's see. Okay, so in 2018, it was Rhapsody, Layla's Wisdom, Tyler the Creator, Flower Boy, Migos, Culture, and Jay-Z 444. Flower Boy was good. Flower Boy was good. But no. Rhapsody's album, Layla's Wisdom, fire. I don't think I'm putting that in front of Damn for all of the consideration that goes into a Grammy Award win. Culture from the Migos. No. It was their best album. But no. Jay-Z's 444. Not my favorite Jay-Z album by any stretch of the imagination. So of course not. This win for Damn did not get in the way of an album that was better than it. Okay. What was the other album that it was 2016 when To Pimp a Butterfly? J. Cole, Forest Hills Drive. Dr. Dre, Compton. Drake, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And Nicki Minaj, The Pink Print. To Pimp a Butterfly is quite possibly one of the best pieces of music that was ever created. And to compare it to albums that were good in the time that they were released, without much all-time consideration, is disingenuous. Force Hills Drive has went on, regardless of how we feel about it in this given chat, to be a classic. Compton was a dope album for the time. And it showed Dr. Dre approaching rare form. If you're reading this, it's too late. Good album, not a classic. In the end of Drake's prime, as it relates to the artistry that was being released under his name. In the Pink Print, I didn't listen to it, so I can't speak on it. I've never listened to Nicki Minaj. Let's see. But were they saying that about Kanye or Jay, who has 24 and 25 Grammys? This is a good question. I've mentioned this as well. Because when did niggas become Grammy darlings? When did niggas become Grammy darlings? Was it before or after Kanye West won his 24 and 25? Was it after or before Jay-Z won all of his Grammys? What makes Kendrick the Grammy darling that does not apply to J. Cole and Kanye? My answer is that there is more power connected to Jay-Z and more cultural cachet, even outside of hip hop, connected to Kanye. The level of ubiquity that they have has allowed for niggas not to be able to play with them like that. Yes. Nobody is going. Jay-Z is one of the biggest names in hip hop ever. The mecca of HipHop Media has long since been New York. Do you think in New York they were going to be running print at any point trying to delegitimize Jay-Z's run at the Grammys? And do you think that was going to happen to Jay-Z's protege and Kanye? No. No, it's not. The only person who's even willing to even potentially have this type of conversation would be somebody like Wack, who is also someone we should not be giving any respect to. Dot did the work, yes. We're not trying to we're not trying to discredit that. If anything, we're trying to get that point across. The thing is, as we discussed earlier, the left lies to you. The right lies to you as well. The right is just more forthcoming about the fact that they're lying to you. So, what does anybody with power respect? People with more power. Which is why, even if they felt it, there will be no established media members attacking from a reputable print magazine as it relates to hip hop, attacking Jay-Z's accomplishments. It has only really become popular in the internet age to attack Jay-Z's accomplishments. Shout out to Crown K. I'm not saying you, Skip. It's the undermining that takes place with let someone else win. If you've been around for a while, when they were saying that Kendrick should win album of the year so Clips could win rap album of the year, I was not for that. I was like, there's no way he should win album of the year and not win rap album of the year. If all of the things that they consider when they choose those awards go to Kendrick more than anybody else, Kendrick should win those awards. I don't give a fuck if he won a lot of them. That is what happens when you are great. I don't care. I don't give a shit. That's like saying, hey, man, Jordan got 5 finals MVPs. Maybe he should get a 6th one to Scotty. No, the fuck he shouldn't. Maybe Scotty should win that motherfucker. I don't care. I am not of the position to say niggas should dim their light so other people can shine. I can't fake humble just because your ass is insecure. I can't. I won't. That's self-hatred. It may be a small level of it, but that is self-hatred. I'm not going to dim my light so you can feel better. It does not work that way. It does not work that way. I'm not moving in that way. I don't believe in the act of minimizing myself. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The only thing about what he was saying on that back end is that the part that I did understand was when he was saying that Kendrick is actually happy when people he fuck with win. When the Clips went on stage and won for the best rap collaboration or something, and Kendrick was in the crowd visibly excited, that's what he was like. That's what I hear. I mean, that's what I envision by that statement. But the whole thing is like, yeah, man, I don't really want to win this year, man. I'm tired of getting in these niggas' way. If that's the case, he wouldn't submit. You have to go through a series of steps to be considered for Grammys. So when you go and through that process to become a nominee in all of these different categories, including album of the year, rap album of the year, best rap melodic performance, and all this other shit, you are intending to win. If the nigga did not want to win these awards, he would not enter himself in the drawing for them. Neither should he feel like he's not in position to allow his work to be validated in that way. It's like, no, because the same niggas who say they don't fuck with the Grammys, I bet money J. Cole submit to fall off for the Grammys. I bet he submitted for the Grammys. And if he get up there and win, I bet he show up. And I bet he get on stage and accept that Grammy for album of the year. I bet we'll see if Drake submits Iceman. I want to X. Drake submitted, the last album he submitted for the Grammys was Her Loss, 2022. Even Drake, he's still been submitting shit. These niggas want to win these Grammys. Kendrick is winning them. That's pissing niggas off. Because it's like, damn, what we got to do to beat this little nigga? Apparently drop in a different year. But it's not because he's just winning them. It's not because they're giving them to him. It's because he's winning them. Let's see what the nominees were in 2022. Best Rap Album Grammy nominations. God Did. It's Almost Dry, Pusha T. I Never Liked You, Future. Come Home, The Kids Miss You from Jack Harlow. Like, bro. I'm gonna say it again, bro. Really, nigga? Like, I would have understood if the Forever Story made the list, because they, and don't get me wrong, It's Almost Dry is a dope album, but comparing it to Mr. Morale is not, it's not cool. Well, it is cool, but it's just like the Mr. Morale just offers so much as a project. I Never Liked You It's not a full album. God did. Khaled does not put out good projects. Come Home, The Kids Miss You. Jack Harlow is not a great album artist. This a slam dunk. This is a slam fucking dunk, bro. Let's go to 2025. No, let's go 2026. Gen X. Okay. This is the most competitive that it's been in a category for rap album of the year in a long time. Gen X, Chromacopia, Let God Sort Them Out, God Does Like Ugly, and Glorious from Glorilla. With all things considered, sales, impact, quality of the music, critical acclaim, success after the release of the album, all of these different things, Gen X wins. There's an argument for just pure album quality will Let God Sort Them Out. There was an initial sales argument, first week type shit with Chromacopia. But the further the album lives, the more clear it became that Gen X was the album of the year. But based on straight quality, this is a good list. This is a very competitive list. God Does Like Ugly, Let God Sort Them Out, Chromacopia, and Gen X. This is a tight category. But all things considered, in longevity, Gen X walks away with it. Gen X walks away with it. Yeah, I agree, Devin. This is one of the best 5 album categories in years. Let's go to 2023. Not 2023. Let's go to 2024. 2024 was The Death of Slim Shady, Might Delete Later, We Don't Trust You, Alligator Bites Never Heal, Auditorium Volume 1. This was another good year. Let's go to 2021. That's 2022. We already looked at that one. Let's go to 2021. 2021, Call Me If You Get Lost, Donda 1, King's Disease, and Off Season. Good list. Not really any blockbuster albums. Good list, though. Let's go to 2020. A Written Testimony, Jay Electronica featuring Jay-Z. The Allegory from Royce da 5'9", Fire. Alfredo, classic. Black Habits, D Smoke. King's Disease 1 from Nas. Tyler ended up winning. No. Tyler won the year before that. That's another good list. Like I said, no blockbuster. That's a good ass list. That's a good list. But Kendrick not just taking wins from niggas. All of the ones that was wrapped around his year, that nigga should have won. That nigga should have won. I'm sorry. Now I'm not finna sit here and go through all of the different categories. Maybe we can do that at another time, like rap song of the year, best rap performance, and all of that other shit. But he was mentioning albums at first, because he started by mentioning Astroworld, and it's a shame that Astroworld didn't win. It didn't lose to Kendrick, unless it lost in a separate category or some shit. But it did not lose to Kendrick for Rap Album of the Year. It lost to Cardi B. So the premise is based on the premise is faulty, because the premise does not take into account when he released, who he was competing with, and how he sees those albums in competition with Kendrick Lamar's output. But yeah, just lumping shit in, this is kind of that same shit that Wale did when he was like, Kendrick won an award, and created this narrative that Kendrick somehow walked off with an award he was supposed to win. Wasn't even the same award. It was not even the same fucking award. So the premise of your argument can't be taken in good faith because it's not based on factual information. Now, what I can say is that's a part of narrative warfare. It may not be the just narrative warfare as it stands, but one of the components, that's misinformation. Tyler won for Igor, and he won for another album he put out, I think. Tyler and Dot, Tyler said Dot was the one who encouraged him to get more into singing, hence Igor. Look at that. Look at that. He also stopped J. Cole. He also was a part in stopping J. Cole from retiring. Of course, Wale didn't apologize for being dead ass wrong. Tyler won for Call Me If You Get Lost. So he got 2 Grammy Album of the Year wins for Rap Album of the Year. Igor and Call Me If You Get Lost. So he's not stepping on Tyler. And the one time that they were in the category, the 2 times that they were in the category together, Kendrick had better albums. Damn is better than Flower Boy. I'm sorry, not sorry. And Chromacopia is not better than GNX. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. So yeah, like bro didn't have his information correct. So before I say that he's malicious, I'm gonna say that he was misinformed or uninformed or ignorant than a motherfucker. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that. Before I start characterizing niggas, I'm gonna say that he was misinformed, uninformed, ignorant to the facts of the matter, which allowed him to misrepresent himself in front of this camera and this microphone. Because I can substantiate him being ignorant due to the albums he posed as opposition to Kendrick's freight train of Grammy wins. I learned my lesson with the J. Cole shit. I just don't like watching that shit on playback. I don't want to do that. I don't want to look back and just be throwing names on niggas. So unless you've earned it and I can itemize how you earned it. Shout out to 72 Paths. Ignorant means those who chose to ignore, from the RZA. So look, I feel like we had a great build today. I appreciate y'all for allowing me to get my shit off that wasn't necessarily as flagrant or as juicy as some of y'all may have liked. But yeah, man. I had to tell my story. And I had to give y'all a look into what the fuck was going on, bro. But I'll say this again as we leave the stat part, and I'm gonna get into the super chats before I dip. Stat is clearly ignorant. about this specific thing. He's clearly ignorant. He was clearly ignorant. Shout out to Lorena 241 with the membership. She said stat was on earlier. He messed up. Apparently he's been getting some pretty nasty messages and realizes now that his clips are fueling the owls. And that's what he was told while he was doing it. He chose not to take heed and continue to put himself in some shit. But the primary thing that stat is going for, which is why they wanted to, well, he was a proponent for reacting to a Drake concert. It's clips, clicks, views, expansion of the platform. And that comes with a level of nihilism about why we do or what we're doing. When you start to listen to niggas who choose clicks and views over everything, there is a level of nihilism as far as real human interaction and appreciation in this space. Niggas don't believe that the elements that we champion all the time exist anymore. They don't believe in it. Like when racist Rory and malnourished were in that Twitter space, they are so nihilistic and have such a lack of faith in the human element within the internet that their initial response was that was being brought to the attention of people for people who were addressing it to build platforms. To build platforms and clout chase off of Rory and Mal. That's what they were leaning on. Hey, hit that like button. Let us get to 400 before we get up out of here. But they were leaning on that. That is what they were saying. Oh, they just using this so they can clip it up and start channels and build their name so they can do Twitter spaces off of us. As opposed to understanding that could truly affect people. That level of nihilism is insane. And that's what I'm saying. So with the stat thing, he can be ignorant, nihilistic, and industry all at the same time. Oh, yeah. And before I leave, I gotta apologize about this. I didn't say nothing out of pocket. But I was on Koala Stream yesterday, I think. And the subject of J. Cole crying on stage came up. And I said in the chat, I was like, I kind of looked at that like when LeBron cries, if I don't see tears, I don't believe it. Which would be akin to calling someone performative. Now, since then, we have been made aware the reason for J. Cole's emotional reaction on stage. J. Cole had a fan named Colin who had some type of illness, I think cancer, back in 2018. He came to a show of J. Cole's. J. Cole allowed him to come backstage and coalesce with J. Cole. Beautiful moment. Gave him a hug, all type of affirmations and shit. Stage 4, terminal. Colin has since passed away. During the show, J. Cole was canvassing the crowd and saw Colin's family and Colin's sister, if I'm not mistaken, holding a sign that said Colin Strong on it. And that fucked J. Cole up while performing Love Yours. Rest in peace to Colin, bro. That's some real shit. That's some real shit, bro. That's some real shit. And you know, that particular song and what it signifies, and you know, which is basically an ode to appreciation and stewardship. While you know, you sit and think about all of the things in your life that you may have a problem with, or that you may wish were different, or you know, all of these things, and then you see someone coming to show love and solidarity for someone who's no longer here. It makes you really think about how minuscule those concerns are, which brings you back to the subject of that song. Love yours. Because there are people who are no longer here, who do not have the option to complain about little insignificant shit in their life. And there are people who no longer get to share moments with those people. So yeah, I just wanted to come on. Before I got off here, I wanted to acknowledge that. Because that ain't no shit to play about. Even though I was ignorant to the fact that at the time, and didn't really, you know. Yeah, I just want to speak. I just want to clarify, and bring light to the actual situation, in that now that I know, there's no way that I can let that previous comment slide. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, rest in peace to Colin. And that's one of the things, you know, with J. Cole, I can stand on common ground with. You feel what I'm saying? So, I gave y'all 3 hours. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all 2, man. Okay, so let's go through these super chats that we had. Damn, y'all was showing love, man. I appreciate y'all, bro. Let me go back to where we stopped at. Shout out to D2B2 with the 5. He said, bachelor's degree in spectating. Shout out to G Malone talking about Akademiks. Shout out to L with the $5 said, once upon a time, Act glazed Dot and not only said that Owls had no classic, or that Drake had no classics, but that Dot would beat him in a battle. But we're in the revisionist era. So I remember this. I saw a compilation of it. It was like 20 minutes. He was staunchly defending Dot, but I think, and that just goes to the whole political shit that I was talking about earlier. Like, a lot of like career Republicans were career Democrats at first, especially black ones. And once they converted, they got accepted and upheld in a way that they would have never been able to reach on the other side, because there's value to the Republican side, or just to the opposite side, and somebody turning, because it shows a level of preference for somebody who's been exposed to both sides. So yes, there's nothing tastier to a Republican than a coon. It's nothing tastier. Even though it's bad for them in the long run, they love it. They eat that shit up. That's why Brandon Tatum was the head of urban engagement for Turning Point. Y'all just want to dance, bro. Y'all just want to dance, bro. But shout out to Dre, member for 6 months. That's my guy. I'm unsure what the 10 was referring to. Shout out to my dog, Dre. Shout out to the Most Secret Science with the 1,000 Jewels GOAT trophy. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Shout out to Dre again with the $10 and the membership for the culture. Thank you, man. I greatly appreciate it. You already know how we rocking, bro. Shout out to Big Red with the 10 jewels, gold coin. Ah, man. Okay. I'm that the avatar tripping me out. Big Red again with the 6 jewels. With the chili, yeah. Shout out to Sharonda Ridley. Ack is doing what Trump did by discrediting real journalism. Very nasty work. I just wish they leave Kendrick alone. They won't. Kendrick represents something. They gotta knock him out. They gotta knock him out, or at the very least, make people look at him crazy. I saw a post on Twitter the other day. Oh, sorry. And I think the person ended up being like a Drake centered channel. I mean, centered page on Twitter. But the initial tweet was, which rapper is one album away from their resume being completely tarnished? And then I go under and start reading the comments. A lot of people were saying, well, no, some people were saying Wayne, some people were saying Kanye. A lot of them were saying Kendrick. And it's not out of some sense of belief, because you look at what's the name? And it's an owl in their name, or a 6 in their name, or like praying hands in the 6 in their name. So it's like they want to see him toppled. They want to see him toppled. Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, excuse me. It's bedtime. Shout out to Sharonda Ridley with a 5. And the snippet was trash. I heard it. I heard it on my own. I also heard it watching Jay Nolan. Shout out to my dog Jay Nolan, man. One of the best people in this YouTube shit as far as the hip hop side goes. The beat is dope. The song sucks. And for Drake to get a nigga 2 words, it's like, bro, you did all of that so you can put Drake's name on this song, and then Drake just saying no breaks, no break. That's crazy. He literally gave you crumbs. Like, and that'd be the part that tripped me out. It's like, you go that far. You do all of that. You don't even get an 8 bar. You don't get like a 4 bar bridge. You get you get him on the chorus, and he just say 2 words. He don't even give you a full hook. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Shout out to my dog Cam with the 5 gifted. We are Decipher memberships. I got a new video coming out for y'all tomorrow. I'm not sure what it is. On the member side, America's Got a Problem came out already. Oh, it's gonna be the Flying Lotus Kendrick feature. Y'all will get that tomorrow on the member side. And then the YouTube guys that don't have memberships, some of the videos that are coming up for y'all is America Has a Problem. I got to make the thumbnail for it. Daddy Died reaction, Flying Lotus reaction, and a Pimp Called America. Y'all will be getting those within the next week or so. I gotta make the thumbnails for those. But yeah, so y'all got them coming. So yeah, if you got gifted a membership, go check those videos out. And some dropped last week. I think I dropped 5 last week as well. Shout out to D2B2 with the $2 towards the goal. Skip is cooking. Thank you, man. Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to Just Be Yapping with the $5. Considering Game and Aubrey got similar problematic histories. Wink, wink. Kendrick already warned he could go further. I can't wait for Dot to finish his plate. I ain't gonna lie. With as much shit that can happen if Game and Kendrick go at each other that is outside of rap, I don't think we getting that battle, y'all. I'm gonna be 100. Well, first of all, I just don't see it being worthy of Kendrick coming outside. Like, it was nothing about that song that came out today that is going to do anything but drum up interest around the game. But it's not going to be, that's not warranting a response. That's not warranting a response. And people also got to realize that Kendrick didn't just battle Drake because he wanted to beat Drake. He battled Drake for what Drake stood in the way of. He battled Drake because Drake had been earning that ass whooping for a decade. And Drake struck first. There is no place, there's no timeline where Drake does not battle Kendrick that does not involve one of them retiring early. You feel me? Like, the payoff was so big because they earned it. They had been putting work in to build that fight up for a decade and change. From the moment Kendrick Lamar won that lyricist award from MTV and everything that happened after that was all lead up to the battle. Even their success, independent of each other. So for now, for the game to be just not at his best, and several years past his best, I don't see Kendrick battling that nigga, bro. On top of what it could mean in real life on the West. I don't see it happening. I think it'll be best for us to consider the implications and decide whether or not we still want it. Shout out to Nisa with the $20. Shout out to you for the big dog. In the bushes, hiding. Peace and blessings. Excellent commentary per usual. Thank you. I had been preparing for this for 2 days. I had been like I didn't sit down and make like a slideshow or nothing, but I had like kind of, because I think I announced that I was going to stream Thursday, Tuesday. I had been getting my mind wrapped around this shit for 2 days. Real talk. And I hope I did that weight justice, because I could have went live Tuesday, but I think it turned out better that I didn't. But much appreciated, Nisa. Hope I gave y'all something of value. Shout out to TL Ivity with the $2. Appreciate the soundness of mind, man. I had to ponder on this one, bro. I had to ponder on this one. I don't know what it would have sounded like if I would have just got up and spoke my mind Tuesday. Shout out to Before the Fam with the 200 Joules, Flow State. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate that shit. Shout out to Anissa with the 750 Joules. Let them cook. Thank you. Shout out to Cam with the $2. Ack is the Hamburglar in terms of villains. We talked about that. I was like, nah, I think that nigga Spot. He's a threat. Shout out to Cam with the 5. They're trying to call the DSA communists now as we speak. It's a difference between socialists and communists. Exactly. But the thing, the way that the word communist rings in America, it's damn near Antichrist. So it's not even about what those particular words mean. It's about what they've conditioned people to respond to and imagine when the word is said. Because when you look up what communism is and what socialism is, America could use some of that. But since the people who make the money, the big money in America, profit off of a capitalistic system that involves them enriching themselves off of our labor, death, life, and everything in between, they want to keep it capitalistic. They want to continue to be able to exist in a system that involves disenfranchising everyone under them in incremental steps. Shout out to D2B2, my dog with a 10, a real life comparison. Insignificant peon like young Dana White, who was a failed boxer size trainer that wanted to be a boxing promoter, built himself up to be tied to WWE, UFC, and Saudi blood money. Exactly. And a lot of these niggas be like they build up prestige off of galvanizing communities. And a lot of time they do this shit off of hate. A lot of times they do that shit off of hate. We're gonna hit 39,000. We should hit it tomorrow. Maybe the day after. Maybe if I put out a few videos, we can hit 39,000. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and do that for me. Like I said, we're trying to get to 40. We like 70 away from 39,000. So go on, help your boys out so we can get to that 40. If you haven't subscribed yet and you like this live stream, we do this at least once a week, depending on how shit goes. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Thursday, depending on the week, depending on my life. But at least once a week, on top of reactions and stuff getting put out, throughout the week and shit like that. Shout out to D2B2 with the 5. Skip about to get into his champ side bag if y'all don't keep up. Man, champ side be wilding, man. He be speaking facts a lot, but he be wilding. I don't want to talk to my folks like that, man. He quick to call a nigga stupid. But that's my guy. Shout out to champ side. Kim and Oak. With the $2. You hear the other songs, the Shot at Dot. It's other songs too. Cause I know the album dropping tonight, but I hadn't heard anything else. I probably won't even listen to the album. Shout out to Lisa Domino, 700 with the 200 Jews, Flow State. Thank you. Shout out to my dog D2B2 with that motherfucking. What's right under a doubt with that Siberian Husky. Shout out to my dog D2B2 with that Siberian Husky with 50 ball. Skip telling the truth. Fucking J Fold and Aubrey Graham pushing that white supremacy bullshit by trying to delegitimize the term because concept of culture when we're discussing black street urban culture. Exactly, because when you replace it, when you remove it, it creates a vacuum. You have to fill the void with something else. Shout out to D2B2 again with the 5. Whole button is a compromat. What the fuck, man? Hold on. I gotta look that up. Because when I saw that first, I thought it was a nigga said a kumquat. A kumquat. I heard Averb say that shit in a battle before. Compromise is a R-word term, which is the country or continent. What is Russia? Is Russia a continent or was Russia just a country? I don't fucking know. I can't remember right now. It's a Russian term for compromising or incriminating material collected about a public figure, politician, or business rival. Oh, okay. Damn. Let's see. Shout out to 72 Pass with the $2. Stand on your square and maintain your cipher. Yes, sir. That's what we here for, man. That's what we here for. Shout out D2B2 with the 5. I will reiterate, there's a reason why Kendrick is where he is and why Stat Quo is where he is. Status quo. Stuck in one place. Damn. Damn, D2B2. Shout out to an activist diary with 1,000 Jews. W. Pinata. Let's see. Shout out D2B2 with the $2. Cardi B is the lady version of Kendrick Lamar. Hey, that's news to me. That is fucking news to me. Shout out to Keisha with the 80 Jews. Clock it. Clock it. Shout out my dog D2B2 with a 20 ball with the big dog. My beef with Stat Quo begins with Fight Night 2004. That song was complete trash and I could never skip it. And my beef continues. And with his, let's say, moment of ignorance, I don't trust that nigga. Bro, I loved the Fight Night series, bro. That nigga was on that shit. I can't remember the song. That's probably for good reason. Shout out to Tamila, member for 15 months. Stat gonna get another call from Top, I bet. And like somebody said, he's been getting a string of calls this evening. But that's what happened when we talk too fucking much. And you know you connected to these niggas. You got to be selective with what you say. But his first priority is visibility. He said that on third verse this morning. That's his priority. Pushing that platform to higher levels. And the Third Verse podcast, YouTube almost got 22,000 subs. So it's moving. It's definitely moving. And he's taking pride in doing his part to help get visibility and go viral on Twitter. He doing his job. It just comes with shit. Just like Maul. And other niggas who choose virality over integrity. Last super chat of the evening. Shout out to D2B2 with the 10, the membership, and the wrench holding. JCN went face down. JCN went face down and bit the pillow for Aubrey on command. I've been telling y'all that it takes less than a band to make him dance. D2B2, what the fuck? It takes less than a band to make him dance. He toots it up and twerks for very little. Dear Lord. Dear Lord. My nigga, what the fuck? Shout out to DNG. D2B2 is a subscriber of the year. I fuck with D2B2, bro. He be wild. D2B2 be wildin', bro. He gonna say what he gotta say. He don't give a fuck. And if he really wanted to get out to the masses, he gonna super chat it. So I gotta read it. So I have to read it. Okay. One question. I usually do 2 or 3. I can take one question. It's 11:25 on my side. I got to be up in 5 hours. Anybody got a question? One question. Then I got to go. I need to take a shower, iron clothes, and eat. So I can be in the bed by 12:30, hopefully. Oh yeah. Me and DJ are recording the reaction to Rhapsody's album tomorrow. How was my day? It was straight. I got up. I did me a little workout downstairs in the office. Got me some push-ups in, got me some hammer curls in, you know, get a little ready because I haven't been able to go to the gym as much lately since my son started this new school. So that time pocket we have, it doesn't really exist right now. Unless I work out on my 30-minute lunch break. But I think I was pretty productive at work today. I listened to some good videos. Came home, got to kick it with my kids for a little while before I had to come upstairs. Yeah, man, I can't complain about today. I think the day was good, man. I can't complain. Hopefully y'all hopefully y'all had good days today as well. But as I close out, thank y'all for tuning in to another Decipher live stream, podcast, whatever you want to call it. I am Skip. Shout out my brother DJ. One time for the mods, the members, the decoders on Patreon, the people who watch via YouTube, everybody who's ever liked, comment, share, subscribe, hyped anything, shared us on any other platform. I greatly appreciate y'all, man. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to pray on possibly doing the reaction live. I'm gonna pray on it because I'm gonna be mad as fuck if it get clipped during the stream. But we're probably gonna just do the regular way and just skip uploading it to Patreon and just immediately upload it to YouTube. And then I'll do Layla's wisdom this weekend for the member side, so y'all can have that as like a trade off. But yeah, man, y'all have, excuse me. Push-ups don't hit the same since the King Bird used it. Like, hey man, I gotta get it. You feel me? I gotta get it. So whatever we gonna call them, I gotta do them. As a matter of fact, I need to run me another 100 before I go to sleep. But yeah, man, thank y'all for tuning in. I am Skip. Shout out my brother DJ. Shout out to all of y'all. Hope y'all have a great Friday. I will be back Saturday in the afternoon. It will not be a late night Saturday stream. Be mindful. Probably 4 o'clock Central to like 8 o'clock. But y'all have a great Friday. And until next time, hip hop lives here. Peace.